Hacking the system. Hello, it's John, host of the show you're about to listen to. But because I edit the damn thing, I thought I'd also kind of like just leap in here and sneak in a completely unsolicited advert for a thing I'm doing. So Rayman and Nick don't know about this, but you know, hey, I'm the one with the hand on the edit button, so go me. Anyway, when I'm not recording a show called Hate, I make a comic called Afterlife Inc. And incredibly, it's just hit its 10-year anniversary. And so we're currently on Kickstarter, like right as we speak, releasing the entire run so far. That's over 800 pages as 2 massive A4 hardback books. And you'll be pleased to know we've already hit our target. In fact, we hit our target within 48 hours, which was kind of amazing. So a massive thank you to everyone who has backed. So with that in mind, you might be thinking to yourself, why is he here asking for your help? Well, my reasoning, if you let me get to it, damn it, give me a chance to speak, is that, you know, we have some stretch goals and we've got like 2 more weeks on Kickstarter. So maybe we'll hit those goals and you, if you want to back, you'll get some more even cool rewards. Who knows? Anyhow, this has been a completely unscripted advert for the Afterlife Inc. 10th anniversary collection, which is currently live on Kickstarter. And if you'd like to check it out, I'll put a link in the description below to this podcast. So no pressure, but you know, if you fancy checking it out, maybe backing, it'd be very much appreciated. Anyhow, I now return you to your regularly scheduled entertainment.
In a world in crisis, can 3 idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Hello and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
He just moved my beer.
I moved his beer.
Like
while he was speaking,
He was gesturing wildly. Was that why?
I
Because
thought-
you were afraid of a spillage?
No, I just thought it'd be funny.
Oh, it was really funny.
I thought it might distract him like I've done before.
Your wacky japery
Yeah.
is becoming tired and threadbare.
I wouldn't have thought so.
You're running out of things to do.
It's
Like,
funny that Chris has the opposite opinion to that. Isn't
Wouldn't
that
have said
weird?
so. Wouldn't have said so.
Because it's all subjective at the end of the day.
I guess in a free
Yeah.
society, we're all allowed to have opinions.
It's just a shame that
I
some
wouldn't- I
people do.
wouldn't have thought so.
I don't agree to that. We're back in the room.
Sweet beer. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to be back in the room.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you as a listener was unable to detect a difference in the quality of our show.
No, I mean, actually, I think last episode was kind of better than most of the crap we've done. But no,
We're back in the room. The energy I can feel is like fizzing.
It's
No,
like
that's
it's like a mug, isn't it?
The energy
in
is
the room. It's like a mug.
like a mug.
Like a sweet
mug.
Like a mug of energy.
A mug of energy.
Oh, I see.
Like a muggy. You know what I mean?
oh,
Oh,
no, yeah,
Like the
that's-
energy feels very muggy.
Like we've got a
just
mug
smell.
on.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm,
Yeah, it's
I'm
weird.
confusing with the energy with musk.
It's
aren't
weird that you said that. Like no one's ever said that before.
No, it's
like,
a really odd turn
thing
of
to say.
phrase,
like,
actually.
It
Yeah.
feels
Yes.
like a mug.
I? Wouldn't have thought so.
But mind you, I haven't been hanging out in our fair capital city, so I don't know.
Like us.
I don't know.
Couple
what
of Londoners here.
we've been down to London.
Yeah, we went down the apples and pears to London town, didn't we? Ba-da-bo-bo.
Yes, I've been to London.
You've been to London.
And
yeah.
I
so
was also
Nick.
in London.
And the interesting thing is, because I have followed your stories through
Intimately.
verbal records from Nick
Hello.
and an aggressive Facebook thread from Chris Ray.
I did send John some good swears.
Okay.
While I was at
London swears.
said event.
And the thing I love about this is that, like, you, Chris Ray,
Yes.
attended an event which is essentially the opening scene to a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Because everyone's in tuxes.
Yeah.
There's a grand gala.
Were you in a tux?
I was in
A suit.
a suit. I did buy a tux, but it didn't fit very well. And I thought, I'm never going to wear a tux for other things, so I'll just buy a more versatile suit. But I was a black tie, black suit, black tie.
And you're basically expecting a villain to crash in through
the
glass.
roof. The
I
glass
mean,
doors.
it was very. The building was very much like that in terms of its aesthetic. Yeah.
But by contrast, you did not witness a crime,
Yeah.
whereas we know
I did.
that Nick did witness a
I witnessed a
crime.
big old crime.
Is it? We've not talked about this.
No, well,
Are
I
you
told
fair?
I
Are you
told John
comfortable?
about it. Oh yeah, no, I'll
Oh,
talk
he'll
about it.
tell us
Yeah,
about
I'll
it.
fuck it. Yeah.
I've not heard about this.
So I was on a photo shoot.
Oh yes,
for 3 days
I know
in
this
London.
bit, but
yeah.
the listener doesn't.
And we were driving about in London town, right?
London.
We'd go into every borough of London.
Yeah.
And
How many
see-
boroughs are there in London?
32.
2.
Yes.
Are there really?
I watched a video about it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sadly, I had 37 locations because some of the boroughs
Jesus
had 2
Christ,
locations.
That sounds like too many, doesn't it?
It
does.
sucked.
For any photo shoot.
Anyway, so I saw a lot of London I've never seen before, and I was stopping at these various places, buildings I never heard of. I stopped in Harrow,
Oh yeah.
and I was in front of the Harrow Art Centre, which is a very pretty building. We were going to do a shoot in front of that. By the way, we're shooting for a very, very famous plumbing company based in London. So we had to park their van up.
Tapples and pears.
Yeah, it's not called that. Yeah,
That's very good, actually.
that is quite clever.
Write that down.
I'm right
Write that
Okay,
down.
that's an option.
That's an option.
cool.
Yeah, it's very early days in the episode.
We'll
though.
file that one.
So shooting in front of this lovely building, pulled the van up, got a guy, a model. We had models. Yeah, it's a proper shoot. This guy in uniform.
What would just as an aside?
No, it's fine.
What would a model for a plumbing company look like on average?
Well, ours were.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, you.
Yeah, you would be a great one.
Rude, isn't it?
Isn't it?
The irony is, I know fuck all about plumbing.
Well, neither did these guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to have an actual plumber on site.
I'm imagining a man with a Millwall tattoo, basically.
Yeah, no, we had very beautiful people.
Really? Oh, really?
Yeah, stunningly beautiful.
All the way.
I'm imagining, I'm imagining
Yeah.
someone with like me.
Yeah, I'd say they erred on the side of slightly normal-looking beautiful people.
Okay.
So like
me.
we are way out of this league. I'm sorry, guys, but the three of us, we don't stand a fucking chance. At it.
Advertising for a plumbing company.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell is that?
It's got to be beautiful. It's got to be glossy. It's got to be sexy.
I was once, and I will. Yeah,
I don't care.
we'll get to your bit.
It's fine.
I was once in a sort of sponsored ad for a pie company. True, very true. I was at Gillingham.
I don't want to
football.
say anything.
I
about
feel
that,
this has
about,
come
like-
up.
Oh
weirdly.
no, you have mentioned this.
Did I bring this up on the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, you were snapped having a pie, weren't you?
Yeah, I was given a free pie by the commercial person at Gillingham.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Can we take your photo?" It was me and some others.
But do you think they looked at you and you're like, he looks like
No,
a man?
we knew the commercial
Okay.
person who at the time.
Which is how you sleep at night, I presume. But like,
That's what I tell myself. And I was like, sure, why not?
I mean, you got a pie out of it.
I did get.
They
a
got
pie.
a very cheap ad.
I don't remember the pie. I do remember me chowing down on that pie in a photo that's been immortalised on social media.
I'm just picturing them seeing you, like next to a pie stand and going, yes, he's the man.
The golden boy.
I mean, you see the photo and it's you with like a tinny of Foster's.
I mean,
Pie.
you're not that far from the
far
truth, to be honest.
in a grey car park.
Our models cost a lot more than a single pie.
Yeah, I mean, they really did lowball me,
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of shit.
and I'm probably on par with these plumbing models.
And that-
You'd say on par, would you? With the plumbing models, me?
I mean, I didn't. That's literally the opposite of what I said about 30
Nick
seconds
would probably
ago.
say,
No, I said
I
I
could
said
do that.
It was the
I-
other thing I said. The opposite
No,
of that.
My memory's a little hazy. I can't actually remember
Nick,
what. how
Nick
that
said they basically
conversation-
looked a bit like me.
What I said is
Yeah. They could.
none of us could come close to the beauty of these models. That's what I said.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah, it's completely opposite of what you said.
We'll agree to disagree.
No, I'm not
I
doing
don't agree with that.
So anyway, we had all these beautiful models.
Sure,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
We're shooting in front of Harrow Art Centre. Right next to Harrow Art Centre is,
Okay.
is a Morrison's.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But not the entrance to the Morrison's. It's like the side, the tradesman's entrance to
Okay.
the Morrison's, right? Suddenly there's a screech clang, right? And we see a car pull up, and there's the chap with us, the manager of the shoot, right? He also he is a police officer as well as a managing director for this company,
Right.
So sometimes he's working.
He's
you
got to
know,
like spring into action sometimes.
well, this is it, you see.
Yeah.
He does. He has a badge on him at all
Does he?
times, right? So anyway, so he goes, oh, that guy took that pulled up a bit hastily.
Yeah.
And that's what we thought it was at this point. We thought a car had just hastily pulled up, hit the curb a little bit and stopped.
Naive country folk that you are.
Yes. But now we're ogling.
That doesn't happen like accidentally in London, does it?
No,
That kind
there's
of
this car sat there, right, by a fire exit, and it's the engine's running. Right,
Uh-oh.
so I think you can see. I think from your perspective, the way I'm spinning this, I think from your perspective, it's pretty clear what's going on here.
Yeah, he's gonna have
right?
a big petrol bill.
But at this point, for me, I'm just like, he's just pulled up there. He took that a bit fast.
Yeah.
You know. Then suddenly there's a big commotion at the fire exit,
Oh, my
right?
goodness.
And I'm bursting through the fire exit doors. I see what looks like a woman with long curly blonde hair and a pink cardigan with very broad shoulders.
Okay.
Right, muscling and wrestling with a security guard with a massive box that's clearly just filled with stuff they've nabbed off of a shelf.
Oh, God.
Right? Tins of soup, maybe some bales of noodles. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they come in bales?
Yeah.
Loads of just domestic stuff, right? And there's like this commotion.
Steal something good if you're going to steal.
But at this point, I still haven't thought this is a crime, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a getaway car stop,
Yeah.
right, and the engine running. And
you thought they were like rehearsing for a play or something.
I've seen
Yeah.
a buff, like wide-shouldered woman,
Yeah.
like wrestling with a security guard at the door. And I still think, what's going on here? This is a bit weird.
Yeah. How peculiar.
And then the woman turns, and it's clearly not a woman.
Sure.
Right? It's a man in a very big man with a big.
I feel like that could have been a twist if we delivered it slightly differently.
Well, this is the thing. Like, it should have
Yeah.
been another
Yeah.
indicator that I'm seeing something a little bit strange here. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm still like, that's weird. That's a man. in a
I-
wig.
I already have at least 4 questions.
Yeah. I guess the point you're making is it's very clearly a bad disguise.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah.
But at this point, I'm not like my brain isn't going, oh, it's a disguise for a crime. My brain is going, why is a man dressed like that?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
haven't assessed the situation very quickly or well because I'm not a trained police officer.
Sure.
However,
I know, I know somebody who
the
is.
man to my right, I
Yeah.
turned to say, this is a bit weird. He's already
He's
gone.
gone, yeah.
He's sprinting. He had to go around a hedge.
The other way. Gotta get out of here. Fuck.
And he's like, you know in Terminator 2, the way that the
Yeah.
T-1000 runs with those like spiky arms that he has. It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was like watching an action hero leap into
Wow.
life. I was genuinely, but at this point, it was only at that point I was like, oh, it's a crime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big
Oh,
old
it's a crime. Right. Oh, of course, it's a crime. It's a crime.
Yeah.
So anyway, he sprints over, but he goes to the fire exit door because
Right.
that's where the commotion and the kerfuffle is happening.
Yeah.
But before he can get to it, the person's broken free of the security guard and they're heading to the car.
Yeah.
Right. So my man, police officer,
He
man,
must have like
Still
clocked the
hasn't-
car already. This guy.
He hasn't clocked the
Oh, he
car. This
hadn't?
is the wild thing. He thought that the car was unrelated to what was happening at the door.
Oh.
So he heads
That's
to the
not
door.
very good policemanship, is it?
Well, this is it. And he was very angry at himself after this.
Was
fact.
he? Yeah.
So anyway, he runs to the door, but by now the action's already moved from the door, and they're piling into the car. But there's still one guy left who's coming through the door.
Right.
The manager chap, the police officer chap, doesn't make it in time before he's left the fire exit and he's bundling himself into the back of the car. And at this
Yeah.
point, it becomes very clear it's a getaway car, right?
Sure.
So, manager, I can't give him his name, but like manager, police officer man, now turns on his heel, starts sprinting towards the car instead. He's running down the street. Oi!
God.
Oi, stop right there, like this. Police, all this stuff. And he
Jeez.
catches up to the car and grabs like the passenger side door, which hasn't closed
Holy
yet.
shit.
And he's running alongside a moving car, holding the passenger side door, trying to pull this guy back out of the car. It was insane just watching this all go off. But anyway, the car had got too much speed at this point.
Yeah.
Like, the chap couldn't keep up. He had to let go of the door, otherwise he got pulled under the wheels or something.
Yeah.
And away they zoom into the distance in this crappy, battered old car. And of course, we're on a photo shoot.
Yeah.
So I turned to my good friend Simon, who is the cameraman. for the
Professional
shoot.
photographer.
Yeah. And I just go, "Did you get any of that?" And he went, "Yeah, I got it all. Yeah."
He filmed it all.
Yeah.
Did
and he captured shots. He got
Yeah.
the number plate of the car.
And they
everything.
look amazing. He really brought out the
Yeah,
best
we're
in
going to put
them.
them on the website.
Really
the
high
plumbing
quality.
company.
They're actually going to be the front page of the campaign. Yeah.
It's incredible, yeah. And of course, it's got the marketing manager running in.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You know?
It'd be such a power move if you're advertising your plumbing
Yeah.
company, but the primary photo for your campaign is your managing director beating the shit out of the guy.
I would probably.
He's got a
go
length
for
of
that.
U-bend in his hand, and he's just like smashing it over the head of a guy who's stolen a load of tins and soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protecting your investment, protecting your community.
That's
like-
amazing.
How about that?
That whole thing took about 25 seconds, maybe less, to happen. So
Yeah.
the whole time I was just completely stunned that I was watching this thing. And then, of course, like on my right, a man runs into action and nearly gets run over by a car. And on my left, the photographer has the presence of mind to shoot
Yeah.
it all. And I'm just stood there, mouth agape, like, was there a crime?
That woman's not wearing the correct clothing.
Hang on, I think, guys, I don't know if you noticed, there was a crime.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this, Chris Ray, but when we were very young, when we were in one of the like not quite reception, but one of the early years at school.
Yeah.
I think you were in my class. I don't know if you recall this.
You might have to start the story, and I might.
Oh,
catch
sorry.
up.
Yeah, you're right. Please tell me how to tell a story.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we went on this. We went.
I don't
on...
want to insult you, John. But...
No, you're right. No, I've
Yeah.
really wasted the last decade. So we went on a school walk. That was the point. The activity was that we're going to go on a bit of a walk around the village.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of resources.
No.
So I think we walked out into a bit of woodland through a field.
Oh.
Does this ring a bell?
Kind of.
We came back. This is the thing. We came back along a country lane called Lassington Lane,
Yeah.
and then we
good old
walked back to the
Lassington.
school.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine.
Now, clearly, I was not a very observant person because, and this is one of those really weird, confused childhood memories where you know it happened, but my emotional connection to it is like non-existent. But apparently, there were police officers waiting for us when we got back because apparently there had been a robbery at down Lassington Lane while we'd been walking past.
Oh.
And I'm saying it out loud, and suddenly this doesn't seem real,
No.
like it didn't happen. But
What were they robbing? Where were they robbing?
a house,
Oh,
because
okay.
there are houses down there,
Right.
and apparently, and then the police came to like interview or ask the class what we've seen or something like that.
But
No,
had
I
the
don't.
class seen anything?
Well, here's the problem. You're asking like 6, 7-year-old children, and they start saying, "Oh yes, I saw a man with a stripy jumper
And a shotgun.
and a shotgun."
And he had a
Most
swag
unreliable
bag.
witnesses you've ever seen in your life.
And then there's me in the corners, and
Yeah.
clearly I was just thinking about monsters in my pocket or something like that because
Yeah,
I had
probably,
I had not witnessed anything at
Yeah.
all. I'm saying this out loud, and it sounds like a lie now.
I don't have any memory of this, if I'm honest with you.
like-
I'm not saying you're a liar.
I feel this happened,
I'm
but
being very careful.
It's
not
like an
to say
anecdote that happened not to you.
Yeah.
Like around you.
it's like I've absorbed it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not yours.
It's like on a previous episode when we talked about something where a boy clearly stole my transformer at
yeah,
primary school.
But only now are you realising.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's what
you
happened,
tell the story and you go, oh fuck yeah,
It's very clear now.
yeah,
Yeah.
30 years later, he stole that from
He
me.
stole
Yeah,
that, didn't he?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I just saw it floating down the sewer.
Such shit.
I'm trying to think if I've witnessed any crimes or
crime?
robberies. I must have at some
Well, you've
point.
witnessed like active, drunk, violent crimes
Yes.
while out drinking,
Whilst doing it myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
First person view.
but they kept
Yeah.
their mouth shut.
Well, I didn't have any choice afterwards.
I mean, you've witnessed our good friend get headbutted in the face and lose 2 teeth.
Well,
Is that a crime?
here's the
or-
thing about that. I don't really remember it. I was called in as a witness. My friend got headbutted in a nightclub after Cheltenham races.
Oh shit.
And I kind of saw it, and I kind of saw the aftermath. And then I went down to the police station with him, and they interviewed me. And I was quite pissed, if I'm honest with you. And they were like, "Oh, how drunk would you say you were out of 10?" And I just went, "Oh, yeah, 10." Not thinking that might count against me.
I love the idea that it's like you're almost trying to impress him.
Yeah.
It's like
I
no,
felt-
I
I
want
felt
to
like-
max the scale out.
That's kind of the way I felt at the time. And the thing is, if I can remember it,
he'll
it
like
obviously
this.
wasn't a 10.
No.
If I can remember this exchange happening.
True.
It's more like an 8.5, maybe.
Unless I literally,
4.
I'm just making it up because I was so pissed that none of this actually
Yeah.
happened. But
There's
no.
also that option. Yeah. Then you were 11. I guess.
But I
But
mean,
maybe that's better because if you
Yeah.
said like, "Oh, definitely a 3 officer," and then fell over and
threw up.
this is me, and then I go, if this is me on a 3, imagine me on a 10, and then wink at him.
And you're like, oh, sorry, I'm going to call. You just hold your shoe up to your head.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been much better. Yeah.
Hello, Lydia.
but they never got the guy, did
No,
they?
well, which is bullshit because there was CCTV everywhere.
Mm.
So, bit of a conspiracy there. And my friend
a
got his.
policeman.
Yeah, he was the same guy. yeah,
You were so drunk you
Chase-
didn't even know.
yeah. He got his tooth fixed, so you wouldn't know now.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I think it cost him quite a bit to get to that point.
And all they have to do is track down a guy with 2 teeth embedded in his forehead.
Yeah,
Yeah. One day we'll
So,
see him on the street.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate crime. I'm trying to think if I've seen a robbery, which I don't think.
It's
so.
weird seeing crimes.
Yeah,
It's a weird thing.
you only think about it afterwards, as we are now doing, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been it's not really a crime, but and I swear I've talked about this before, but when I was in Vancouver,
You went to Canada.
I've been to Canada. It's
Oh,
funny.
nice,
I don't
yeah.
talk about it very often.
No, you don't.
But I was waiting for a bus, and 2 guys got into a fight at the bus stop, and a guy whipped out a can of pepper spray
Nice.
and blasted the other guy in the face with it.
Yikes.
But then massive clouds of pepper spray
Oh no.
just went like everywhere.
So you're getting you.
So I got pepper sprayed.
Oh great.
And then everybody, including myself, like fled.
Do you think that's what started your hay fever?
It actually relieved me of a hay fever for at least 2
I
years.
can see it for a while.
But I went into like there was a Starbucks, ironically enough, right next to us. Went in to request some water, and not in a nice way. It was more like, I need water. You know?
Fucking what?
But then, of course, I think a lot of people were like coming in, going like, "God, we need water," and because the doors were opening, like all this pepper spray just started like you couldn't see it. It was just kind of in the air.
Yeah.
God knows how bad it was for the guy who got blasted in the
Yeah.
face.
Oh my god.
Because there was a bit of like, you know, he was a bit like, oh yeah, what, you know, it's proper like they were like,
Giving
oh
it-
posh, giving it all that,
Yeah.
and he just whips out, you know, it looks like a can of deodorant, but like point blank
Yeah.
gets this guy in the face.
Yikes.
Point blank. Like, I can't imagine what it was like.
Yeah.
Because I got like secondary spray and it was
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
horrendous.
Forget that.
Oh, oof.
That was fun.
That'll teach them to
Yeah.
fight. In case someone's carrying pepper spray. I don't carry pepper
I kind of
spray,
want to get
personally.
pebble spray.
Pebble
spray.
Pebble spray.
Lovely bit of
I want to
pebble
get
spray.
pebble dashed a little bit.
I mean, if you sort of chuck pebbles at someone from that range, it would probably
Probably
do,
hurt a
do the
bit.
job, wouldn't it?
No, I mean I don't want to get pepper spray, but at the same time I kind of want to know
I
exactly
want to know
what it feels like.
what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
but
feel
I'll
like-
probably hate it.
Well, all I got was like, my eyes were fine, but you couldn't stop coughing. It's like your whole throat was just kind of burning.
Wow.
But like, I do feel for the man who took it
Oh sure.
straight in
He
the
probably
eyes.
deserved it, didn't he?
Well,
He's giving it all out, wasn't he?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy. Did he start the fight? The guy who got pepper sprayed, or the guy who?
I honestly
had the
can't
pepper
remember the
spray?
details.
I mean, you're a twat basically if you start a fight knowing you have pepper spray on you.
I do
Yes,
think.
that's true. Yeah.
That's the worst kind of person.
Now, I would hate to testify about this in court, but I do remember.
I don't think you'll be called.
No.
Never know.
They're listening. We found him. Witness one. No, I do believe that the guy with the pepper spray turned up, knew the guy was there, wanted a confrontation.
It was a hit.
Beef.
And it went from like a bit of posturing, and then he went straight to whipping.
This
out
was
the
something
pepper
he
spray.
wanted to
Yeah,
do.
I think
Oh,
he
okay.
had it planned. Yeah,
Yeah.
Then I say boo.
does
Lucky
feel-
it was only pepper spray.
yeah. It does feel like a bucket list kind of thing where you go like,
Go on.
I want to get
Go
pepper
on.
sprayed.
Spray me.
I've been
Yeah.
pepper
Why don't we
sprayed.
do it for the podcast?
Well, we did eat that sour sweet on air.
Yeah.
I
similar.
feel that's
that was
kind
pretty
of.
bad.
I feel it's kind of
Basically,
same.
on the same
same
line.
thing.
That was kind of like a chemical burn.
Yeah.
I
Oh
have
yeah.
to say,
I think
yeah.
it was a weapon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Turned out it wasn't a sweet actually.
No,
In
not
the
really.
end.
No.
We didn't have a nice time with it.
In a way.
Well,
Well, I said we didn't have a nice.
no, we didn't. No,
Oh,
we
we
didn't.
didn't.
We didn't.
No,
No,
we
we didn't have a
didn't.
nice time.
No,
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 I thought you were
no.
like counterbalancing, saying, "Well, we did have a nice time."
We had a great
guys."
episode for thanks to it.
Well,
Maybe.
we get criticised for eating on air. We haven't
do
done
a
that in a
lot.
while.
Right,
Yeah,
we can change that.
Which is why I got us all a Nutrigrain bar.
Oh,
Lovely.
Who's got a hate?
Go on then.
Oh,
Or do you want
was
to go?
was that you saying yeah?
I'll go.
No, you go. Yeah.
no, it's all right. No,
I'll
you-
go.
No, it's all
Go on
right.
then.
Well, my hate has turned from a love into a hate.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure
Football.
I mentioned...
Is it football?
It could be. The way things are going.
Come on.
So I previously mentioned I loved car boot sales.
Oh no.
But I did one this weekend just gone, and now I hate them.
What happened?
Really?
So we turned up at the car boot that we've done before many times. It's relatively busy. The difference between this one and the previous one is that the one before was at lunchtime, and they've now moved it to 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're at 8 o'clock in the morning. We set
Could you
up.
paint a picture for anyone who's listening?
Yes.
Like it's a field, isn't it?
It's a field,
Yeah.
and people park their cars and sell all their old shit.
Yeah, and there's very clearly some drug dealers selling phones.
Yes.
For our American listeners,
A drug dealer is
a
a
drug dealer.
A drug dealer, yeah.
A boot of our cars is
It's
a
a
trunk. of
Trunk.
theirs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been to this event once, and there was very clearly a topless man sitting on top of his car.
Oh, yeah.
with nothing but mobile phones on a
Legit.
a table, and it's like yeah,
That's what we call a business.
Seems
Okay.
legit.
He had a suitcase.
yes.
I mean a briefcase. Sorry.
Yes,
I mean a
yeah.
briefcase.
For our American
That makes him a
listeners.
real businessman.
But, sorry.
No, that's fine. So we basically drove in as you do normally and thought, okay, well we've got some of our old crap to sell. Let's give it our all. Let's give it everything.
Yeah, let's be salespeople.
And then some jackass parked in the wrong place, and we sort of parked next to him, and we just parked in the most horrendous spot to make any sales or people come by our spot or anything like that.
Yeah.
So people did come by the stall, table, boot, whatever you want to call it, trunk.
Trunk.
And this is sort of where my hate really begins.
Here we go.
Oh.
The trouble with car boot sales now, and maybe this is an age thing because I never used to mind it, and now I do. People pick something up, look at it, and then go, "Oh no." I mean, what have you gained from picking it up that you didn't already know from looking at it? A guy picked up a mouse. We had an old mouse,
Right.
like a
Computer
a
mouse,
computer
yeah.
mouse, right?
Yeah.
American listeners. And he picked it up, looked at it, and put it back. And I'm like, "What the fuck have you got out of that?
You knew it was a mouse.
You knew what
sir.
it was."
Yeah.
You had people come up, and then there's an extension of that. We had people come up and go, how much is this? Oh, we went, £1, and then put it back. It's like, what the just pay the pound or don't ask. Why is a pound too much for you?
I don't know.
What were you expecting me to say? Just fucking take it.
I don't want to criticize
Yes, I think they were.
I don't want to criticize your sales technique, but if a man picks up a
I didn't
mouse
say that-
and puts it down, and you go, "What the fuck do you gain from that?"
I kept quiet.
Yeah.
I kept
you're
quiet.
polite, you're polite.
I'm airing this all now.
Yeah.
And for anyone out there who picked up a mouse last Sunday at a car boot, fuck you.
You know who you are.
And then so I quoted him a pound for like a whatever it was. Who knows what it was?
Uno?
He's gone. Uno could have been.
Yeah,
no, I would never sell Uno.
No, of course you wouldn't.
And then he puts it back down. I'm like, well, why ask? If you're not willing to pay a pound, why ask?
Well,
It depends.
I mean, it was something more substantial than a feather.
no, you're right here because you don't ask if you're not interested.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know how a pound can be out of anyone's budget.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I'll leave it then. What was he expecting me to say?
But is this where you're supposed to say, all right, 50p, you're so desperate to have his business?
I'm not though.
No, of course you're not.
The thing is, this technique did not do me any favours because
Right.
we made a £10 profit.
Okay.
We were there for 4 hours and we made £10.
Maybe less when you factor in.
It was. In the end, I just went, let's go, because I'd had
is
enough.
grim.
It was a grim day.
Was the sun shining?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was that kind of hazy sun, like
Yeah.
morning sun in the haze, and you get a bit of burn, but it's not particularly warm or pleasant.
Haven't you talked about these before where, like, you get... Because I kind of think of a car boot sale, and my naive impression is that, like, you just get, quote-unquote, normal people walking around going, like, ooh, I wonder if I'll find something nice.
Yeah.
But you
No.
actually get professional kind of, like,
yeah.
scalpers who are like...
One guy turned up and bought Liz's old mobile phone case. I don't even know what model phone it was, and I don't think he did either. He just went, "How much?" And we went, £2. And he went, "Okay," and he just took it.
Fine,
And it was
yeah.
like, "But you don't. How do you know that's the right one for you?" And
Do you
it was
think-
it was bit like a lilac color as
But
well.
he was like a reseller.
I think he
was
must have
looking
been.
for-
He was just looking for old mobile
Ah,
phone covers, and it's
clever.
like so. There's people like that who turn up and professionally purchase these things to then sell on at a profit. I assume. Good luck to him, I say.
But then you get the people who crowd around your car before you've even parked.
Got any Lego?
Got any jewellery? Got any video games?
Got any video games? Got any electronics?
And of course, because you're driving over a ploughed field, Liz is driving the car at like 0.5
Yeah.
miles an hour. You're on top of a car with a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back, you animals.
It's just like
You're
it's just like
standing
fire
on top of the
a
car with
stick.
an old CRT TV, just like no electronics.
You're whipping a SCART cable around you.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, forget this. I feel like I have said this as a love before because I enjoyed it before.
No, this is good. This is a journey. This is
No,
a
bring
narrative.
it out. Yeah,
But I'm at an
Yeah.
age now where I can't be asked
No.
with any of that. I don't understand why people would turn up somewhere, pick something up, ask if, and then find out it's a pound, and then go,
pound.
forget it.
I think
Yeah.
I
It's just a waste of time. Stop wasting my time. What I just said to you, in terms, like not you, but
Me,
the
them.
consumer,
yeah.
This fictional hypothetical customer.
that's worth a pound of my time. What I've just said, and you've
Yeah.
not given me my fucking
No.
pound.
I think there's something particularly it challenges me. It's aggressively buying things with no emotion. It's when people it's when I can picture them now when someone shuffles up to your table and they're like, "Got any Lego? Got any
Yeah.
Lego?" It's like, "Do you like Lego?" I think that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Do you have any Lego?
Stop talking to me like I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Do you have any Lego?
But we had because at our wedding we had Lego figures
You
as
did.
one of our table bits.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
And we had these little Lego bases which they stood on because otherwise they'd have fallen over. And that would have looked awful at the wedding. So we were selling some of these old bases, and someone came and looked at them. Again, just went, just sort of looked at it like this, picked it up, sort of played with it a bit, and then we were like, "Oh, they're for Lego." Just went, oh, and put it back down. What the fuck are you doing?
What did they learn from holding a piece of Lego?
What? Oh, it's just.
Is it just this weird obsession with handling things at a car boot sale?
I find it
It's like,
really strange and really
I'm here to
off-putting.
get a little tactile adventure where I get to touch people's objects.
It was just strange behaviour from strange people.
It's the only way I can finish now.
Yeah. So
The thing
you
is,
know.
you're selling arguably tat.
Oh, tat to us for
Yeah.
sure.
And what I find, and this is where I find this very relatable. Hey, imagine that, but with maybe a book you've been
Crafting.
You've put your life, your heart, your
Well,
soul
here's
into.
the thing.
Oh no,
I've been to that car boot and seen copies of Afterlife Inc. for sale.
that's
previously, and I think I sent you a picture.
They're overpriced. Whatever they're selling it for is not worth it.
I just looked down and I just went, oh, look at that.
But like, you
Still for sale.
But
John's moving on from this.
we've been to. No,
It's not good. It's not good for the Kickstarter.
Well, I found copies of Seven String in a charity shop in town.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, I found
good
photos.
on the
I
table,
found
isn't
selling photos of Chris Ray in a KFC. At the back, actually, of a KFC.
Well, I left them there. Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go, full circle.
Not
all right?
even for sale.
I just go around putting them in chicken shops.
The weirdest thing is they're all framed.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
They're going to be
Oh,
your
yeah.
rhino. It's like a black and white photo of you, like resting your chin on your
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, they were
We
lovely.
should actually do that.
They were lovely shots. They
Thank
were
you
really
very
nice.
much.
Yeah,
I
they were
appreciate
great.
that.
Yeah, but no
Yeah.
one wanted them.
Well, they were actually from a plumbing photo shoot. Those shots.
Full circle.
Yeah.
But no, but like we've seen it all at conventions. But like we've had like people, come by the table, very very similar.
Yeah.
Pick up a book.
Oh yeah.
Pick it up, bend the cover right round.
Yeah.
That's good. And like look at it, like
Fuck's sake.
what's this then?
What's this about?
Oh,
then?
it's a book I made. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Oh, you made this, did you? Oh,
made it. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Slap it down on the table, like start walking away, but kind of like just lift the cover back for a moment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
look back.
Yeah. Put the cover down and then kind of just like run their hand across it and then just walk off. Like it's the dirtiest shit they've ever
Yeah.
seen.
But they've just lowered themselves by even looking at it.
But then they've ruined that particular edition of the book.
Yeah.
A copy of the book.
I've had a guy like pick up one of my books, read the whole first chapter. So he stood there for about like 5 minutes. That doesn't take that long to read the first chapter, does it? Like 3 minutes.
Sure.
Read the whole lot, and there's like this look of pure disdain on his face. Puts the book down, covers bent out of shape, fucks off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Worst kind of people.
you read that much, but you still couldn't even buy it.
Yeah.
There was a dude, I think way back in like 2012, who literally bent the cover round, read the whole book, and I was a soft fellow back then, and I didn't dare say anything. Now that shit would not fly. I'm like, get the fuck away from my table, you
fuck
animal.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
You monster.
Buy it or fuck off.
So did you?
Or both, preferably.
You made about 10 quid, you say?
Yeah.
Is that rounded up?
Is that one sale or?
Well, no, we sold. What? I can't even remember what we sold.
Oh, this is profit. So over
This
the
was
cost
profit.
of the plot.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's profit.
That was profit.
Oh, all right. Well, 10 quid profit.
But that was, how much is your time
That's
worth?
maybe half a pint. 'cause
Well, no. Well, exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Me
yeah.
and Liz, and
4
we're,
hours.
we're both, we earn decent
Money.
money. 4 hours of our time is worth something.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
That's a combined 8 hours of manpower,
Yeah.
and we made
made
10
10
pounds
quid.
It's a harrowing.
to put in the jar in the house.
It's a terrible moment of realization when you're at an event and then you actually just realize that whatever you've paid on this event, the time, the effort, the resources in getting here, it's like a horrible
It's not
realization
worth
when
it.
you go, I could leave now
Yeah.
and just essentially be richer.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, by
we
not
ended up
being
being
here.
one of the first to leave because it was like, forget this.
Yeah.
Even if we sold 2 more things, what's the point? We sold the big thing we wanted to sell, which was a shoe rack.
Yeah.
And that was because it was just in the way. And we sold some bits, some football programs, some bits and bobs, but it was just like, this isn't happening.
How did you? It's interesting that you turned up wanting to sell the shoe rack and you sold the shoe rack.
How about that?
Do you think you're meeting a demand? How did-
well, it
Did you
wasn't
sell it? How did you sell a shoe rack?
Oh, well, I actually had vacated the table when Liz sold it.
Ah,
but a
that's
guy
the
had come by
answer.
and well, it probably is.
Yeah.
A guy had come by, asked how much it was, £1. Everything's £1.
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, I'll come back." And he's one of the very few people who actually did.
Right. Yeah.
And he came and bought it.
That
God-
man came
God
with
love him.
a singular purpose.
What did
Yeah.
he do? Did he have to go find the pound he'd come
Oh,
with?
who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows how these
Maybe
people
he did
operate.
like he uses trading sequences. And you start with something really small.
Oh.
He had like a watch battery, and he traded that for a boglin.
Yeah.
And then he traded the boglin for a pack of cigarettes, but
Yeah.
half of them were used, And then he traded that for a bunch of bananas. And
Yeah.
he traded that down back to a watch battery again. Oh no, fuck.
Yeah,
And then he eventually
terrible.
got to the point where he got a pound coin, and he
Yeah.
came to you for a shoe rack.
That'll do.
Wasn't that like a?
Then he traded that for some magic beans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like-
And then he went out, and he
20
sold them for 10. No, he sold them for 11 quid.
So he's the winner, really, isn't he? There.
Wasn't
Then he
there-
bought 11 shoe racks.
What a hero!
Yeah.
Wasn't there a big thing like 20 years ago, very early days of the internet? Wasn't there a whole early internet story about a dude who started with a paperclip?
Yes.
Yeah.
And traded it up to having a house.
If it's true.
Yeah.
But also
It's a
seems
great
a
story.
little
Urban
bit like
legend.
a little bit like bullshit because maybe it happened, but I imagine it happened because it was a stunt.
But all these
You know?
stories,
Yes.
you always see like, oh, find out how this 20-year-old is a homeowner, and it always ends up being their uncle gave them £500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they saved it very wisely, ended up with £505,000.
Yeah.
And were able to buy a house.
Way.
But that's everything. That's like the Elon Musk bullshit. Like everyone worships him like he's the god of money. But it's like, oh God, Elon, how did you develop the most successful company in the world? Well, you see, my parents ran a diamond mine.
Yeah. That's it. That's
well,
what it is.
It's funny that. Yeah.
Every single one of those stories is the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and yet we all think that, they're self-made. You know, look at how they've pulled themselves up by their bootstraps alone.
nobody's self-made.
Yeah.
You can't earn $1 billion. You can't earn it. It's impossible.
If they haven't given you the money, they own land.
Yeah.
It's like, well, my parents own 400 hectares of land in the Upper Hebrides.
You've just got to find out the thing that they already own. They already own something. You just got to find out historically what it is. They have something.
Yeah. So this guy bought my shoe rack. He did.
Oh, tell me about the shoe rack. Yeah.
The interesting thing about that, and it's not that interesting.
I don't own one pair of shoes, let alone many pairs of shoes.
Well, we now use that chest of the chest of drawers.
Oh, but you
that was the
modified.
TV unit that I successfully upcycled.
Let's say that for now.
Yeah.
But you borrowed my electric jigsaw to modify.
Eviscerate. Modify.
And that temporary TV unit lasted 4 years.
Yeah, well.
They say you can't hear quotation marks over the air, but there's a lot of heavy lifting being done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we got a new TV unit. So we're now using that as the shoe rack
Where have you put it?
in the lean-to.
Oh, you're using your eviscerated chest of drawers as a
We're
shoe
using
rack.
the bastardized drawer cabinet that became a TV unit is now the shoe rack.
So does a guest have to pull open a drawer and put their shoes inside the drawer?
Well, that's the guest's choice.
I'm going to do that.
You should, yeah.
Yeah.
I would welcome that.
I'm afraid of tetanus to some degree.
Yeah.
And many other illnesses that I may contage.
You might not want to come round then. So this was like a material one. You know those sort of Argos ones. You like build poles and you put plastic cornering in them and all that.
Ooh.
So we didn't need.
World.
Oh, it's flimsy as anything. So that's what we were selling because it was just in the way. So anyway, the only time I really interacted with any of the products we had on display was the shoe rack. Sort of, I touched it to show it to someone, and then all of a sudden, 2 more people came to look at it.
When you
So there's something in that.
Ah, yeah.
Like that's sort of marketing at its
You know,
finest,
back in the
isn't
days,
it?
in like the sort of 50s, they'd have a man selling an object, and then in the background they'd have a woman in maybe like a unitard or something, and she'd have like bunny ears or something in heels, and she'd just be stood next to it, gesturing towards it. It's like, and she's just there to make it look a bit glamorous.
Yeah,
that was you.
I'm like the leotard. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say it was like a snake oil salesman, where someone would turn up with a shoe rack and then they say, "I need a volunteer. You, sir, at the back."
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, you got this huge crowd, and then the volunteer is John. And he steps out, it's like, "Hello there." He puts on his best, like, "I'm a random sort of person" kind of voice.
I'd have gone to him, "Yes, sir, you look like someone who needs help satisfying his wife."
Give me your shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was
sure
interesting
thing.
that I sort of just touched it just to show it to someone, and then more people became
Suddenly,
interested in
yeah.
it. That's interesting, isn't it?
Was it a magical shoe rack? Because like
we'll never know now.
you touched it and then people appeared.
Yeah, maybe.
It's funny because you've said this is a hate and this is a bad experience, but the more you talk about it, the more I want to see this fucking shoe
I also
rack.
fuck off because I want to see
no.
the shoe rack actually.
I will make you an offer on this shoe rack.
Who bought the shoe rack? Do you know his address? Do you know his phone number?
Do
you know something?
I could
about
find him.
What was he? What did he look like? Do you have a beard? Do you have 2 beards?
He had a lot of shoes.
He had
I
a
think.
shoe rack. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
he had enough shoes to necessitate a shoe
fucking
rack.
shoe rack that I want.
Yeah.
Did he turn up with a shit ton of shoe rack? A shit ton of shoe
Stop
racks.
saying shoe racks, Johnny. It makes you sound like an ass.
Giving us a shoe rack.
You look a man who could who needs a shoe rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have shoes all over him. He's covered in shoes. He's just, I need somewhere to put these.
I mean, I would have targeted him had that been the case.
That is your target market,
Yeah.
right there, in a man.
I think it's saying something about maybe you hit a certain age where you start to consider buying a shoe rack because when Lucy and I bought a shoe rack for our house, it was a moment of deep joy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We have a shoe rack / bench that you can sit on.
You
And
do,
it looks
yeah.
lovely, but every time you sit on it, it just creaks horrendously.
Oh, yeah.
We have a shoe rack / bench, but our bench is covered in stuff, so you can't sit on the bench.
No, for sure.
Like every flat surface in your house, it is covered in
Covered in
things.
stuff.
Objects,
Yeah,
except for
yeah.
the floor. Well, that's got stuff on it as well.
So in summary, if you come to my table at a car boot and you touch something, you better damn well buy it.
Okay.
So that and I no longer have a shoe rack for sale.
We've got amazing deals, amazing value.
Amazing
What's
deals.
the point of all of this? You don't even have a fucking shoe rack anymore.
Also,
What's the point of this fucking podcast?
I used to stand up at these things, and I sat down this time, so I feel like that may have had an impact.
Well, that's conventioning 101.
Yeah.
You need to be a better salesman.
I think if I'd stood
gotta
up,
sit
it would have
down.
helped, but I was very
You just
tired.
didn't care enough.
Got a rock on your feet.
And I'm old now. I got bad knees.
Yeah.
All that. Liz has a bad ankle.
So, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's mine for now.
Well, I've got hate.
Nick's got a hate.
Nick's got a hate.
My hate's connected to London, where I recently was. I was recently in
He was
London.
recently in London.
I was in
wasn't he?
London. I was in London. And here's the thing about people who live in London, right?
Oh, here we go.
Some
They're
people,
a bunch of arseholes.
Casual racism from Nick.
Yeah.
again.
No, he's right though.
not all people who live in London. Not everyone, but some
most of
people
them.
are very proud that they live in London.
Really?
It's very important to them that you know that they know London. And I feel like they do this by whipping out little place names of little places that you've never heard of
Right.
that they honestly could have made up, because London is a whimsical place with all sorts of silly names, you know, like Googe Street or Cockfosters. It's all just silly. Ooh, look how English and quirky London is.
Yeah.
And it's like they could say something like, "Oh, you've been down to Wrexham Billingsley Market, you know, because they've got a great vinyl shop or something." And I honestly don't know whether Wrexham Billingsley even exists.
Yeah, it's the it's the Hogwarts effect.
Yes,
isn't it?
it is.
You can just make some kind of gibberish sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. I was last week. You wouldn't know it, but last week I was at the Boxley car park, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like every car parking space is a
Oh
shop.
yeah,
You know.
Oh yeah, but you know it's nothing on the Chelmsley Underhill.
That's
you
it.
know?
Well,
Yeah.
no, you just hop on the handpipe line and you're at Chelmsley
Yeah.
anyway, so you don't got to worry about it, do you?
Yeah, well, Scoonsgown Godflap is pretty good, and
Yeah. I hate London. I hate London. To me, is just a bus stop.
I think I might also hate
It is.
London. Like I like there's lots of things in London that I
Yeah.
like, but I don't like it's kind of just like condensed Britishness. And it's so present in all of the place names. It's like it's trying to be quaint.
yeah,
And it's unrelentingly like a modern city wouldn't have like Brixley Pudge as a place. I'm not going to pop down to Brixley Pudge, am I? I'm going to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay, like a human man, not
Yeah.
Brixley Pudge.
But
What
it-
is Pudge?
But it would be like any journey through London is like, you know, we'll turn left off Brixley Pudge.
Yeah.
You know, it's Brixley Pudge, and then like the Scansion Wide.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and you go like Brixley Pudge, and then right onto Scansion Wide, and then it'll just be like two cats.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This
Or
is
one
a street called like Two Cats.
One of the station where my Airbnb was called Seven Sisters, which you might have heard of.
I have not.
It's just
Yeah.
words. It's just words. It's just
Yeah.
word salad.
Well, once you sort of name enough sort of boroughs and things, you sort of run out and you have to add a second word, and it's just like, let's pick one out of a hat.
Yeah,
That'll do.
or make one up.
Make one up.
I think I could count on both hands the amount of times I've actually been wandering around London. Lucy and I went walking once, and we just ended up in like, let's just take this road. Dub-a-dub-a-dub. Oh, great, we're in Seven Dials.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a magical place, isn't it?
Just some words.
Yeah, it could.
There might be a story. There might be a reason why. And London purists are probably going to go, "Oh, it's history, isn't it? Like, why are you blasting all our history and stuff?" And I guess it's fine that these places are called that, but I feel like there's a way that some people say it, like they know that you don't know,
Right.
and it's either a question of I'm making this up right now so that I sound like a Londoner,
Yeah.
or I'm going to pick the most obscure place that I know you Cheltonian have never heard of, so that I'll
Yeah.
look really like hipster like right now.
I think that's part of it. They want to be seen to
know it.
be part of London and part of its
Yeah.
rich tapestry. Here are the facts. Most of London is a shithole.
I love it when he tells it how
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It just is. You go around London on the National Express or anything like that, and some of the places you drive through are fucking awful.
Oh yeah. Well, I did a borough tour. Like I
Yeah.
went to.
You've literally been to every part.
borough
yeah.
of
I have
London.
no interest in London, finding out anything about it, or going there more than I have to.
It's,
On several occasions, I have driven west to east across London. It's about 14 miles. Horrendous. It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Navigating right through the centre.
And that's another thing. Like, let's just get onto London then in general.
Let's talk about London.
Let's talk about London. Like, you would think that in a complicated, like, windy little, weird, massive city that's full of like places that have been around for like 6,000 years, right? They haven't been able to build a grid-like system in modern cities, so they've had to work around the Houses of Parliament and Tower Bridge or whatever. They had to work around all these weird little places. You would think that the rules of traffic were more important here than anywhere else on the planet, and yet the opposite is literally true.
Yeah.
It is like, just ignore the rules, pull out, lean on the horn, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
That's the only rule you need to know.
Well, I mean, we've been at a roundabout in Ilford.
Yeah.
Which is also
that roundabout.
And which, if you can imagine, was a 4-lane wide roundabout,
Ugh.
gridlock all the way around.
Why is it so busy?
Everyone's inching along
all the time.
Everyone wants to be there.
and a car to the right of us.
Just very slowly.
Just very slowly. Like, I'm making eye contact with the dude.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's
and he
looking
just
right
starts
at you.
pulling into us.
Yeah.
And then our cars collide,
Conk.
and it makes like a crunch noise. I'm like,
You're just gonna keep that up then?
oh, you're still driving. That's
Yeah.
fun.
He's just looking
Yeah.
at you, smiling like.
Mad.
It's
Well,
insane.
that's how people feel in London. But then if you challenged him, you would be wrong because you're not from London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how Londoners feel about London. If
Yeah.
you're an outsider, they're just like,
Well, this is London,
I'm
innit, mate?"
born and bred London.
Yeah,
you know,
London,
my
innit?
grandma was born and died here. My mum was born and I murdered her here. You know.
Yeah.
There she is. There.
I'm too busy just like chewing on like a long piece of grass because
Yeah.
I'm just a simple country folk.
You're just
you know?
wearing dungarees over a bare
Yeah.
chest, and you've got a straw hat on.
Yeah, and that's how I feel every time I go to London.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is very rare, thankfully.
I
because-
lean very
yeah.
heavily on the I don't know London at all when I'm talking to Londoners because I kind of want to go hard the other way.
Yeah, you should.
Because
yeah.
I feel like when they talk to people, it's like people try and say, "Oh, yeah, no, I know Shoreditch. I've been at Shoreditch a couple of times, yeah." And it's like they try and up what little they know in an attempt to compete with the people who really do maybe know London.
Yeah.
So I just go hard the other way. It's like London. Is that how it is pronounced?
You want to go like,
But they're not trying to be helpful.
No,
They're just trying to tell you that they know stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
and you want to be like they go like, oh yeah, no, it's a lovely little bistro on Greenwich. Like, I'm going to stop you right there. I've watched EastEnders for 10 years. I think I know Greenwich.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I didn't understand 3 of the 4 words you just said.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think I get what you're saying, because it's like the mythology of London is such where, you get all these like famous names like Portobello Road and Oxford Street.
Notting Hill.
Yeah, and all the bits on the Monopoly map. And,
Yeah.
And that
Trafalgar Square.
but that kind of forces people, because they want to be part of that.
It reinforces
So
it.
it goes from being like, oh, I just live on,
A road.
Eastgate Parade or something like that.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, yeah, I actually live on, and then everything becomes, oh, you're not just like going to like this address on the sat nav. You're going to Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
We're all just signing up
It's
for
now,
fucking
it's
Hogwarts,
now
aren't
suddenly
we?
a legendary thing. It's like, oh yeah, what, you live on Boxley Avenue? Is that near Crippins? And it's like, what are you talking about? Why does it matter that you know a place? They're just places. At the end of the day, there's just a house there. There might be a co-op. Wow.
Yeah. Do you know that particular branch of co-op though?
Oh yeah.
I feel like as an international tourist, if you came to London, you'd be disappointed. I think.
But is it like a self-fulfilling prophecy? Like you think it's going to be London,
Yeah.
capital L. You turn up and it's just a baffling mess. I mean, you leave thinking it's exactly what I was hoping for.
Have
because
you
it's
heard?
so fucking weird.
Have you heard about Paris syndrome?
No.
This is a genuine condition that has been reported on and written about by medical professionals.
yeah.
Where people, international people, don't live in France or Paris. They rock up to Paris as tourists.
The city of love.
The beautiful city of
Yeah.
love, yeah.
Ah,
And they're
oui.
disappointed, but it's more than that. They burst into tears with depression, temporary depression, because Paris is so below the
Yeah.
standards they expect, either from media or adverts
Yeah.
or TV shows or whatever it is. And Paris syndrome is now a diagnosable thing that some tourists get because of how
believe that.
disappointed they are when they arrive.
I have not been to Paris, and apologies to Parisians. I've heard Paris is a shithole.
Yeah. Well, the
Like
thing-
it's
I can
really
imagine that
dirty,
it is,
apparently.
yeah.
The thing is, right, is that I've been to Paris, right? But I've also been to London.
Yeah.
So when I got to Paris and saw that Paris basically looked like London, but just with a big tower in the middle of it,
Sure.
I was like, sure, it's fine. I wasn't expecting that much from Paris because I think I'd been to London, which other people also romanticize, I think. But I know it's just a soot-stained, like, Shytropolis.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Jerusalem syndrome?
Oh, no.
Which is named cities, isn't it? Aren't we?
Syndrome.
This is a thing.
Okay.
Apparently, well, you know, like you report it once, and maybe one person did it, and then everyone heard about it, and then they started doing it, and suddenly it becomes a thing. But Jerusalem syndrome is apparently a thing where people go to Jerusalem, and over the course of their stay, because they're like a tourist and they want to see all these religious places, they have like a kind of psychotic break halfway through their holiday, and they basically take to the streets wearing nothing but their like hotel bed sheets, and they start preaching. This is a thing where people start to think that they're like a messiah figure from hanging out in
just
Jerusalem.
by being in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I can imagine if you're like a little pepped up going like, I'm going to see some religious stuff.
Everyone comes back with like some isms, don't they, from holidays sometimes. If you're like in a place long enough.
Hepatitis-ism.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But like you come back with like some phraseology perhaps, or a little thing you maybe didn't say before.
Or a little bit of
like you
MDMA
come back
in
and
your
you say
pocket.
something you wouldn't have said before you left for maybe a couple
Oh,
of
I
weeks.
see. You've inherited
Like,
something.
let's say you go to America and you
Yeah.
start calling dollars bucks.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Little things that everyone else thinks you're a douchebag.
Yeah, it's
We all
really-
try and fit in.
It's really
Yeah.
funny because I, when I went to Peru,
Oh, you went
before
to
I
Peru?
went before I went to Peru,
Oh, you went to Canada.
I'd never actually said the words. I shat continuously for 14 hours while on a repurposed
I mean,
American.
we could coin
American,
a syndrome here.
Yeah,
couldn't
and it's
we?
funny. And I got
Peru
I got Johnism because after getting back from Peru,
Yeah.
I said a lot actually how I shat
Yeah,
for
yeah.
14 hours
And
continuously.
still r/am.
I think this is
Yeah.
the 14th time it's been mentioned on this
Yeah, I know.
podcast.
It's yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing you brought back. Good for you.
When he emptied himself, basically.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He was like a deflated balloon. of a
Peru.
man.
Where do you go in Peru? Where do you catch this?
What
particular-
city? Has to be a city.
You need a city.
God,
Lima.
Oh,
No, we
knowledge.
Capital of
we
Peru.
started in Lima, and I don't want to speak ill of Lima, but when we got off the plane, I stepped off onto the tarmac, and my eyes immediately started burning.
There you go.
It's
Lima
quite
syndrome.
Polluted.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I developed a cough after being in London for 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I swear it's awful there.
There are good things. I will caveat it by saying there are things in London that maybe you can't see or do anywhere else.
Yeah.
But that's not because London is great. It's because there are so many people and businesses there that an inevitable influx of cool things are probably
Yeah.
going to occur.
Part of me is kind of intrigued enough where I would actually like to spend some time in London, which I've done like a handful of times, but I'd actually like to try and say like all these places you hear about, you know, these famous places. I would almost like to say, oh, I've walked there, or I've walked there, or I've seen there.
Because you always hop on the tube and then you hop off. It's like you've teleported. You have no sense of where
Yeah,
one
that's
place
true.
connects to another place.
I have no idea of the geography of London.
No.
At all.
Well,
Like,
I do a
at
bit
all.
now because I've had to. But
Some
yes.
people have told you about it.
I know there's a
Well,
river.
yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
have told me about it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I get the bus to Victoria, so I know a bit about the pubs that are in Victoria. I go to King's Cross, so I know a bit about the pubs in King's Cross, but I wouldn't pretend to know everything or tell everybody about it.
But
Yeah.
that's the funny thing as well, is that it's not only people who are native to, as it were, native to London. It's people who have visited London maybe a fair amount. They'll also claim to like really know a bit of London.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like it's almost like they're only doing that so that when they talk to a Londonian,
Yeah.
they can match and fit in, because the conversation always goes there. So, oh, what part of London are you from?
Poor London.
Oh yeah, I'm from Craxley Heath, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I know Craxley Heath. There's a really nice
Yeah.
like
There's a good-
custard shop there.
Good
isn't it?
beef eater there.
Yeah, you just show up with your hands cupped and they just pour custard in it.
Yeah,
And it's
love
like,
it.
they
Oh, I love
all
that
have a laugh.
place.
They all have a laugh about the custard that you
Yeah,
can buy.
and it'll be called like a Chaxley slider.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, you
yeah.
had a Chaxley slider, have you?
Yeah.
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 I always have mine. with
You're a
straw
real
in it.
Londoner. Let's
Yeah,
do the secret
that's it.
handshake.
And that's what they want. They
Yeah.
want the badge. They want someone in London, or they want someone else to go, "You're a real Londoner," in some way or another. Whether
kinda
they
feel-
say those exact words or not.
I kind of feel it's like it's not quite the same, but in America, like you know, like people who like Frank Sinatra, everybody claims to have like seen Frank Sinatra
Yeah.
perform. I'm like, if everybody who claimed they'd seen Frank Sinatra had performed, it would suggest that he was doing like Wembley Stadium like every night.
Yeah.
It's a similar kind of like
It's
love
technically
affair.
impossible. Yeah.
Everybody claims to have some kind of like intimate relationship with London, but like they can't conceivably.
No.
And like London it's like going mad. Like that's the only thing I can describe it as. It's like I can't even begin to imagine living and working there. Like
Sounds like a living nightmare.
it would be kind of like fun, but in a terrible like party drug kind
it
of
might
way.
be fun for like a week.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it in London. I've stayed in London. for like 3 nights before for work. And I
Yeah.
was out every night, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
keep
I
doing
was
this.
there for 9 days and I saw a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a crime in the entire time I've been living in Cheltenham.
But do you feel like
and
going?
I know there's a very different places.
But do you feel like going
You
out?
really know Cheltenham, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Ooh.
I've seen plenty of crimes in Cheltenham.
Nice.
Like I only have to look outside my window to see a drug deal
Oh, that's
happening
true.
most
Yeah,
nights.
you did.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Shout out to the thug next door.
Whoop whoop.
But
He's probably listening.
yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, it's like I've completely lost my train of thought. But like I can't. No, here it is.
we found it. We're back on the train.
The few times I've been to London and I haven't just been like skirting around the edges.
Yes.
It's like if you find a place to stay in London, be it a hotel or like an Airbnb or like a friend's apartment or something, it's like I cannot begin to describe how leaving your house feels like you're embarking on an expedition.
Yeah.
And then you leave, and then it's like, okay, let's go explore London. Flash forward to like 12 hours later, you stumble back into your house.
Exhausted.
And you finally feel like safe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
As in, like, I'm not. My life is not physically in danger, but it now just means that I can finally relax.
Yeah, you don't relax the entire time you're walking the streets of London.
It's like being on cocaine.
Yeah.
I can only assume.
No,
that's
it's
what
a really
cocaine
good way
feels
of
like.
putting it. It's like feeling like you're mad because not only does it look mad, like these weird streets that are all weird and bent and like curvy and old buildings and then new buildings. It's like a shattered universe just got combined into one place.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm selling it, but I'm not. And then the place names are insane. You jump on a tube and it feels like you've teleported. And then you crash onto your bed when you get home and you suddenly realize that you've been operating on like tension level 11 the entire time.
Because you have to be, otherwise
Yeah.
the city would walk all over you.
And maybe to some
Yeah.
extent that's true for any massive city. Like that's probably somewhat true for New York. But I don't know.
London's just like a rule unto itself.
It is.
It's
though.
like,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people internationally always think of London before they think of anywhere else in England.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is true of a lot of countries. But, like, for example, when I came over to Canada, they were like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, England. And goes, oh, I've been to London. And I'm like,
I barely have.
You've probably spent more time in London than I have.
How does
yeah.
that affect me? I don't
Yeah.
live in London.
I do
don't
realise
live
the
there.
irony now of the fact that we have just been spending a good 15 minutes talking about
Yeah.
London, despite the fact that we all don't know it very
But it's
well.
interesting though, isn't it? Because it's like a black hole. Like
Yeah.
the gravity of it kind of sucks everything
you could
in.
get lost in London.
And it's weird that like I joke about us being like country folk, but we ostensibly are.
Oh, yeah.
Because we live in like the West Country.
in comparison to London.
Yeah. Like we're like
Definitely.
Cheltenham is nothing.
It's
Cheltenham
wild, right?
is
So I spent 9 days, not in one go, but 9 days going around these borough shoots, and I technically never left London,
wow.
despite the fact that I was like 2 hours out from the centre, which was where this plumbing company's headquarters were, and very near to where our Airbnb were. I was a 2-hour journey out, deep into just streets and suburbia and all sorts of stuff,
Yeah.
and I hadn't left London. Wow. It's mental. It's like, and because I wasn't tubing, so I wasn't teleporting.
Tubing.
So I was like driving like by road from each borough to each next borough to take all these photos, and it was like
That's why it took 2 hours.
it was
You
just
drive
all-
anywhere.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
all just urban, just infinite urbanity as far as the eye could see.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I feel like you got to accept a lot to live there. Like, it's always busy. People are dicks. It costs a lot.
Oh, it cost
Yeah.
a hell of a lot.
And just to say, oh, yeah, I live in London. And
And I honestly think that might be one of the biggest reasons why.
I couldn't give a shit
No.
if people live in London.
I remember we headed to London, God, in like 2016 or something like that, because there was a Final Fantasy pop-up shop.
Woo!
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was.
That was super weird.
I think it was sold to us as being a little bit more than
It was not what it was.
No.
But at one point, like after we got like our half hour in the shop, because that's all you got.
Really. Yeah.
We went to
I got a
like
mug.
we went to like a pub.
Yeah, went to a pub. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was this thing where it's like
a real London pub.
yeah. Here's
This
my
is the thing.
Here's my point. It was a proper grimy pub, and it was this thing where
All
it's
the
like
kings and queens were there.
yeah. That's the thing. It's like we've been walking around this town. We're all exhausted and threatened and scared because it's just so much is happening. And then it's like we just find this pub. You go into this pub. And then you go down some stairs, so you're technically in like a basement. I don't know. And then we just sit around a tiny little cramped table.
Oh, yeah.
The table's made of like dark black wood, and all the edges are like smooth because like 100,000 elbows have touched it.
Henry VIII probably threw up down the side of it or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
and you feel like I'm sitting in like the most uncomfortable little seat. And it's like,
That'll be £9 a pint, please.
yeah, here's £9 for a pint, and you're like, this is the most like unnatural environment that's ever been constructed. And it's like, and I'm like, is this a famous pub? I don't know. It's just here.
It probably both is and isn't.
Does it get a lot of business? Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. It's
Like,
London.
it's in
Doesn't it?
London.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's 15 pubs within like 5 meters of this place.
Yeah.
Like,
I will agree with everything negative and more you have to say about London.
Yeah.
I literally can't wait to get out of it when I get into it. Genuinely. Because I go through it for Gillingham football. And I honestly get in, get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's my aim with London.
It's wild. It's like, it's honestly like another country.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle of our country. It's
Yeah,
wild.
it is actually. That's a good way of putting it. Like it feels like we have gone abroad when we
Yeah.
step into London.
A
I think.
little. Yeah.
But there we go.
Don't go there.
I've got to hate.
Ah,
I hate, I'm just going to put it out there.
okay.
I hate the work and collected stylings of Norah Jones and her ilk.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Has she done something recently?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay,
She knows
no.
what she did, and it was a crime that began 20 years
Is
ago.
Nora Jones the one who should have stayed too long or something?
Yeah.
She kind of wish
yeah.
she didn't come or something.
Yes.
Don't know.
Yeah.
I won't sing it for copyright reasons. But
I don't think we need to worry about that.
Waiting for the season.
you're right.
Don't know why.
I think that's just gas escaping.
John's still doing the London bit.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I popped into my physical workplace the other day.
Physical
nice.
workplace.
I thought I'd
The meat space.
I'd deign to stumble into the office.
Yes, that's good of you.
And there was a Dido
Oh my goodness.
track
Ah.
playing on the TV screen
What a
while I
treat.
was purchasing
Which
a
Dido
coffee.
track?
Something about not going down with a ship.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it got me thinking about that very bleak era in popular music.
Yes.
With Dido, Norah Jones, and Corinne Bailey Ray,
Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
where for a brief period,
my friend.
It
Colin
was-
Bailey.
My brain had almost lost that name.
Yes.
So thanks for that.
well, it's fine.
Yeah.
There was a brief period where singing in a husky, lethargic, laissez-faire manner was all the rage.
It's like music that wasn't intended to be listened to.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's like music that was actively willing you not to listen
Yeah.
to it. I like.
You can imagine someone telling them they got a record deal and they just go,
That's really good. That's very good. Yeah.
Uh,
Didn't Dido do the theme tune to that Roswell High show about aliens who were blending in a like an American university?
Nick, you are asking
have
the
no
wrong
recollection of
room
that
here.
shit. Okay,
Like,
cool.
I know that show existed, but good God.
Text in.
yeah, I don't know that
So
shit.
what, we're talking kind of like 2000-ish, I want to
Yeah.
say.
More or less.
Turn of the millennium.
Post Britpop.
Oh, definitely.
A
yeah.
new millennium has come around, you know.
I think it was before music knew what the next thing was.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, there is a place for, like, easy listening.
Yeah.
It should never have been mainstream.
No.
Like,
Why did it get there?
oh, well, can we blame Eminem?
If you like.
Because,
I'm always open
I was
to
going to
it.
blame Sinead O'Connor, but she sort of was a catalyst for that kind
she
of.
was a bit edgier, though.
She was a bit edgy, but what I mean is they were watered down versions of Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
The,
I don't think Celine Dion helped the situation.
No.
Because I feel like with My Heart Will Go On and Titanic,
Yeah.
sort of pulled that like ladies singing beautiful but soft music into the foreground of everyone, and everyone was like, "Oh, you know what? I can probably do that."
You know
Celine
what's-
Dion was actually
you know
good.
what's bad?
Yeah.
I know that song. I'm trying to picture it. I literally, well, you've hummed it, so it's come back to me. I'm literally, I was reaching in my head. I was desperately trying to picture. I've got like the two of them on the boat.
They're on the boat,
arms
there they
out, and all I can hear is Dido going, I won't go down with this shit. Yeah.
Flying above my...
Yeah.
Well, okay, like Eminem, he had that Stan song.
Well, there was a sample of Dido's.
Yes.
Oh,
Christ. I want to say thank you. But it was like.
Oh, so you
Just
think
said
he
it
pulled
all.
Dido, kicking and screaming
Well,
into
this
the
is the
mainstream?
weird thing because everyone loved Stan and had like a Dido loop in it.
Yeah.
And then Dido actually released
The whole song.
the song, and everyone was like, "Why?"
After Stan.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
you could just buy the song minus the.
But it was the
interesting bit.
first verse of the song.
Yeah.
The sample in Stan was the first verse of whatever that Dido song is called. Thank you. Yeah.
But everyone knows, like, everyone knows Stan.
Yeah.
Like, when they think of that song,
Yeah.
they're actually thinking of Stan.
Yes, and
Yeah.
when you heard the Dido song, you're like, "Oh man, I can't
wait
for
till he
Eminem.
drops his bar.
Can't wait for Eminem to leap in."
But then it just carries on in the same vein.
I think you realise you're in for a rough 3 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Whatever happened to Dido? I don't think it's
She
important.
died, though.
Brilliant. There's a pun on.
I
She died? Oh.
Oh. I honestly don't know.
no.
No.
I don't think she did die.
I don't
No.
oh.
But here's the
I don't
thing.
think it's important.
Here's the thing. This is quite telling because you could ask yourself, where is Dido now? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Now, maybe Dido's doing village fakes or something like that. Maybe
Selling jams.
selling jams. Maybe Dido has.
Dido's jams.
She might be
Maybe-
selling Lidos.
Maybe
Dido's Lidos.
Dido's Lidos.
Deep in the Lido.
With a-
Deep.
with-
Dido's Lilos.
Dido's
selling-
Lilos.
Selling in the Lido.
Yeah.
Dido's got her dog walking company.
Fido.
Fido, yeah.
Dido's Fidos.
Dido's Fidos. Yeah.
Dido's Fido's on the Lilos.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good bit that we did there.
That's fun.
I think,
Yeah.
I think that could be
Let's
our
file
next
that down.
animation.
Write that
John.
one down,
That could be our
John.
next
What
animation.
exactly should I write down? Yeah.
Write the Dido.
Just write Dido. And
Just
we'll
write
fill in the
Dido
rest.
and then
We'll fill in
write
the rest later.
Write Dido and then in brackets write jokes.
Dido, open parentheses, jokes?
Jokes? Question mark? Yeah, and then close parentheses. There we go.
My point is, like,
Yeah,
I imagine
what is your point, John?
Dido's probably off doing whatever the hell she was doing
She's a rocket
before
scientist,
this
actually.
happened. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
If Brian Cox can do it,
What?
Yeah.
why can't Dido?
And things have
so many
really
reasons.
only gotten better for
Oh,
Brian Cox.
see, that's another great joke.
That was a good
That's a
joke.
good joke.
That was
That's
so
two
good
jokes
that I just
down.
gave John like a look then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
It
really
doesn't-
angry look.
It doesn't translate well to audio.
No.
My point is, Dido, probably, could have lived her life doing whatever she's going to just be breathing into a microphone and bringing her music into the
ASMR.
world. Yeah,
That's what it is.
exactly. And that's fine. And it's a niche genre. What I'm saying is,
What is the name of the genre?
Wisp.
Wisp.
Yeah,
That'd be a good name, right?
a Nemo pop.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, the spotlight of the mainstream should never. It's almost not her fault.
Maybe it passed across her and it just lingered for a second.
Yeah.
And that second was actually due to time dilation. It was like 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was 3 years we all wish we never
It's
had.
like gaze not into the abyss.
Yes, for
Less because it gazes also like we
For it looks
gazed,
back, mate.
we gazed into the unknowing, and Dido and her ilk looked back.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Nora Jones is at the top of the charts, and we're all like, "How did this happen?"
Yeah. She was the ultimate pinnacle of this unfortunate time.
Yeah, but it just like I get it's meant to be easy listening, but like I can feel my heart slowing.
It's weird because it's not musically bad.
No.
Like, no part of it is bad. Like the singing is good. It's in tune. You know, melodies are singable. We all just sang a Dido.
that's a low bar.
It's a very low bar.
It's in tune.
Yeah. That was the bar I set when we were watching Eurovision, and I decided how I was going to rank every song I heard. I set
Did
3.
some of them fall below that bar?
Yes, one of them did. I set 3 at it's a song. So if it was
Okay.
below 3, it wasn't a song, and one song did in fact fall below that.
I think I know which one you mean.
So they're music. They're musical songs.
Technically,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But it's like Nora Jones, classic example. For some reason, fuck, there was that other one.
Oh no.
She sang about bicycles in Berlin. Do you remember her?
There are 10 million
Bicycles in Berlin. Fuck, what was her name?
It was
She was another one of
Google
them.
it.
I'm
Someone
on it.
Google it.
I'm on it.
Yeah. But my point is,
What was the one?
Here we go.
No, forget it. I'm thinking about something else. I was going to say Alicia Keys, but she's actually good.
Yeah, no, she's
she's-
yeah.
I was thinking about the Concrete Jungle, but that's actually quite a good song.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Here we go.
What about
Well-
Katie Tunstall?
No,
Katie
she's-
Melua.
Katie Melua. God.
No, Katie Tunstall was good.
Katie
Was she?
Tunstall's good.
But I think
yeah.
she
I'd
was from
say.
that same era, though.
I don't remember.
But she actually had like
Yeah.
songs and identity. And
No,
stuff.
Katie Tunstall's great.
I don't
Like, she's
remember.
well good.
Maybe I
yeah.
was
Isn't
thinking
it
of
weird?
Katie
Like,
Melua.
because that's a really good example that you bring up Katie Tunstall, because that's that time, and yet there were people who were maybe kind of falling into that bracket, but like were good.
Yeah, and were
And if
punished as a
anything,
result.
They shine sharp relief They cast the others in a sharp contrast as to what it is we're talking about.
But occasionally we get like this collective madness as a country, where like
As a company.
as a racket, Britain occasionally gets like a collective madness where like. Well, it's less relevant now because the top 20 doesn't mean anything anymore.
Oh no, it doesn't.
But like something would like
all just
suddenly
TikTokers, I think.
rise to the top.
Yeah.
And suddenly there'd be a load of imitators, and other record companies
Yeah.
would be going like, "Who have we got? Who can we bring
we need to
out?"
find our one of those.
So like maybe it's Dido, maybe it's Norah Jones, but suddenly you've got Dido, Norah Jones, Katie Melua, Corinne Bailey Ray. Easy listening is suddenly like mainstream. And everyone loves that one Norah Jones song. And I think she's the worst of them.
What was that one?
I waited for
Oh.
the setting sun.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why. And it's great. And everyone goes, "Oh, I love it. She's so good. I love it. You can play."
So
She's
good.
great because it's number one, so you can play it on Radio 1. But it's really gentle, so you can play it on Radio 2.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. And then I'm
There
like,
are no swears.
and I'm like, okay, so you bought the album, did you? Yeah. The fuck is that like? Like,
What are the other songs?
3 minutes, great. 40 minutes, Christ alive.
That
like,
kind of plays into the London thing slightly, and that people go, "Oh, so you like what's her name, Norah Jones?"
Norah
do
Jones,
you?
yeah.
Well, have you listened to her whole album? Because I have.
Yeah.
That makes me a real Norah Jones fan.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
for you.
I honestly feel like
great. I'm
Good
happy
for you.
How many deaths was Norah Jones responsible for? Where people put that album
I mean,
on?
that's a big call, isn't it?
But it's honestly like, but it's like heat death of the universe. You go like, "Oh, I'm going to buy the Norah Jones album." You put it on, and next thing you know, like you're just like in your chair and you can't move, and your heart is slowly just stopping.
Yeah.
That's the energy of the album.
You know when you did that big shit in Peru, out in the wild, and you became this sort of deflated man?
Yeah.
You become that when you listen to the music.
Oddly enough, that's all I could hear at the time as well. Was just Norah Jones.
Norah
yeah.
Jones.
Oh, great! To add ceremony to my humiliation, it's Norah Jones.
Playing from the bus.
Oh God, I just can't. Can you imagine, like, you know, you're at some middle-aged kind of Sunday afternoon music festival.
Oh, well, that comes on at a very specific kind of event.
Yeah.
Still that song.
I think those songs are really, really indicative of that middle-aged music festival. And this is another
Yeah.
thing I hate. That could be a whole nother hate. Is this idea of like a load of, I'm going to say 40 to 50 to maybe 60-year-old people who all take their families to a very tame music festival that finishes at 4:30 in the afternoon, and they all have a Waitrose picnic, you know, and they sit there in their Hunter Wellies and they watch Katie Melua do a set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, "Oh, darling, get up out of the collapsible chair." Norah Jones is on at 4 p.m. I've got a Scotch egg in one hand. And
I'll get up for the Scotch egg, but I'm not going to see Norah Jones.
and a pre-mixed slimline can of Pimm's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Christ alive, can you imagine?
Sadly, I can.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah. I
it's
can
all
imagine
sure.
exactly
Yeah.
what
I
that
can picture
festival
it
looks
so
like.
clearly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But then nobody would know any other Norah Jones songs.
No.
Do you know any other Norah Jones songs?
No.
People only know these very specific hits from these particular kinds of artists.
Yeah.
Because nobody's buying that album.
The light only shone on them very briefly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
did. And we moved on, but we remember
but they
them.
still enjoy the royalties
and I
from
almost,
these songs.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to blame them because the light should never have shone on them. They
No.
were doing their thing. And they probably had a very niche audience. It should never have gone mainstream.
No, exactly. That's
Yeah.
really the only crime they committed.
Yeah.
But also, like I mentioned, like Dido did do a theme tune for a major TV show.
I believe you 100%.
And like that just added to the crimes.
Yeah.
The crimes of the era. She was being played at the front of every time. I used to watch that show. It was garbage. It was a bad show.
Yeah.
But I listened to Dido's song every time that show came on.
Yeah. And
In
then
that
it's like,
era.
and the record company's like, "We need a third single, Dido.
We need a third
We need
Dido.
a third single."
Yeah. I guess I'll pull something out.
Unless it be, we're shitting on the ladies here. I would also group
Oh,
like
no.
Damien Rice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damien fucking Rice.
What does he sing about? Cannonball.
Oh,
Yeah,
he had
he
a
sang
song
about Cannibal.
called "Can't Take My
Yeah.
Eyes Off of You,"
Can't take my.
and I'm like the elderly person lying on a bathroom floor, like reaching for the emergency pull cord.
I've had a
going,
fall.
I've fallen and I can't.
Oh, God.
It's the soundtrack to a bathroom collapse.
I swear. I swear I got like a YouTube ad the other day, and it was like Damien Rice, he's back. And I was like, no, nobody asked.
Pull up.
Why? Why? Do you remember at Live 8, not Live Aid, the one they did in like 2008?
Yeah.
Was it 2008?
Live 8.
And they had a duet between.
Why was it called 8? Because of the
There's no way of knowing.
conference at the time. It was
Yeah, the G8. Yeah,
G8, that's right.
No, it was earlier than 2008. It was well early, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was like 2005.
What, 5 or not? But they had a duet between Damien Rice and
James Blunt.
who did Babylon? Who did that?
David Gray.
David Gray. Can you imagine?
Oh,
And now everyone, get your fucking lighters out. It's Damien Rice and David Gray.
Torture yourself.
Because it's like, it's not just double. I think they sort of,
It's exponential.
they multiply.
Yeah.
You know, you bring two of them together and it becomes 7 times.
It's,
what it is.
it's logarithmic.
Yeah. Oh, it's some logarithmic ambient shit.
Yeah.
Christ alive.
Oh, man. Well, no,
That's
I agree.
fun.
I agree.
Who's got love?
Yeah. Now, here's the
Here
thing.
we go. Here we go.
You love a car boot.
Loves it.
Remember how I said I used to love car boots and now I hate them?
Oh,
Well,
well.
brace yourselves. I used to hate consumerism and big companies, and now and complaining because they took my money.
Yeah.
and now the opposite has happened. How about this?
Tell me.
Listen up.
Don't tell John. Tell me.
So I went to a well-known garden centre. I'll tell you the name. Homebase.
Homebase.
I went to Homebase.
I know Homebase. I've been there before.
on Saturday.
I bet I know it better than you.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah.
Where's gardening?
Right down in Boxley upon Chunder.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to gardening. No, I went to Homebase. I went to Homebase.
When I think of my home, I go to gardening.
Shut the hell up.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
There we go.
Oh, no, I'm sorry for that outburst. I was thinking about Nora Jones. I went to Homebase.
Okay.
And I wish to acquire a lawnmower.
Oh, that's ironic.
Is it?
Yeah, I need a new lawnmower.
Oh, well, you should have said that before.
Sorry, but
Out of
context is
that
everything.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything.
Tell us more about gardening.
So, I don't enjoy it, but I needed a new lawnmower, so I went down there. And Liz, because she gets a discount with her current company, a 10% discount if she buys it online, said to the gentleman assisting us, if I order it online for click and collect, can we just take it now? And the guy was like, yes, of course, no problem at all. So he told someone at the till, well, we're just ringing this through on click and collect, so you can just cancel that one off.
Right.
And we paid the money online. We took the lawnmower home. Lawnmower works lovely. It's a battery-powered lawnmower, so you don't have any wires getting in your way. Wonderful. Cut the lawn. Super. So we're like, oh, good. Well, that was a good purchase. I'm glad we did that. We did a bit in the garden on Saturday, and the garden's looking a bit nicer. And we were like, oh, what a successful day we've had gardening.
Great stuff. Yeah.
The next day, we looked at our bank statement because we were expecting the money to have gone out, and they refunded the money.
What?
Homebase had refunded us and sent Liz an email saying, you did not come for your click and collect. We have therefore refunded your money. Free lawnmower. That's the lesson there, isn't it? Free lawnmower.
Wait, but okay.
This is Colgate all over again. This is toothpaste in the mail all over again.
This is me getting my just desserts from my Argos fiasco.
So is your love?
Wait.
Is your love karmic balance
Yeah, I think so. Like
attributed to capitalism?
Yeah, I think so.
Is your love the perfect crime? Because you
Yes,
just
it's
got
the
a
perfect crime.
You basically stole a lawnmower.
No,
from
I
Homebase.
didn't. No. It's very important to distinguish between the two.
Sure.
I did not knowingly
Okay.
take a lawnmower expecting not to have to pay for it. I paid for it. I gave them the money.
I mean,
they
Homebase
chose to give it back to
Okay,
me.
no,
Homebase
please
might be listening.
explain it again in a way that doesn't make you sound like a criminal.
Okay, I paid for a lawnmower.
Yes.
Homebase was so
Impressed.
enamored with me and my purchase of the lawnmower that they decided to give
that's
me
a
the
guess.
money back. And
That's a guess.
no, they said that guy looks like he's got his shit together.
Well,
His wife works for a good company because she got the 10% discount.
that turned out to be irrelevant because you got it for free anyway.
Yeah, so
kind of thing.
you ordered a discounted lawnmower.
Yes.
You went and collected a discounted lawnmower.
Well, we were
Well,
already
you did
there.
that at the same time.
That's where the confusion has arisen because we were already in the store.
I see.
So that's why we said if we do it online now rather than pay at the register,
Yes.
because we could get our discount.
Yes.
But he's then told the person at the counter, this is a click and collect, but they're here now. So just say it's been collected. Someone at that end has obviously pressed the wrong button and we've been refunded. They've cancelled the order rather than say it's been collected.
Do you ever
Not my fault.
worry
I
that
mean, it's not your fault.
big home base, big base is coming for you?
Do you think Homebase listens to this podcast? Don't tag them.
Religiously.
Homebase don't listen to this podcast.
Well,
At Homebase.
Do not. If you tag Homebase in this promotional tweet, I will
dear
quit.
Mr. Ray, we heard recently on your delightful
The
podcast.
funny thing is that we once tagged, maybe in Big Punch Classic, our old show.
God, yeah, I do remember, yeah.
We talked about
no.
it. Oh, that's very unprofessional.
Nicholas, it's been 109 episodes.
Fucking hell.
It's never happened.
We once tagged a whiskey company.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, maybe it was from my own account. I can't remember. In our promotion for a podcast we did years ago.
Yeah.
And they listened to it. And I referred to them as a drunken village of the damned. In that podcast, and they tweeted us saying "Drunken Village of the Damned."
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. They tweeted us back
Because you'd been on holiday, hadn't you, up to like Scotland?
Yeah, this was a distillery in Inverness.
I think you'd also drunk it and said it tasted like petrol or something like that.
It's my favourite whiskey. It's called Tomatin.
Yeah.
So we tagged them, or I tagged them in the tweet, and they actually listened to it. I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that.
Wasn't expecting that, yeah.
So please don't tag Homebase.
Yeah. I'd love it if it's like, dear Mr. Ray, we recently listened to a delightful episode of the show called Hate, LOL Pork Box.
Dido brackets jokes.
Yeah. We also agree that Norah Jones was a horrible
Severely
carbuncle
overrated.
on the face of British pop. On the other hand, where's our fucking lawnmower?
Yeah. Not my fault. They're very welcome to take the money back. I'm good for it.
But you will keep
Ish.
that lawnmower.
Yeah, well, it's
It's
used
my
now
lawnmower.
anyway.
Have you used it?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't, I can't take it back now.
No, it's true, yeah.
Uh,
It'd be a nightmare
hey,
to return it,
hey.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Why don't you try it? Because hear me out. If you return that lawnmower
I don't know.
and they refund,
That would be funny.
yeah.
But then I'd have to buy it again.
You made a 200% profit. Off
Well,
of
that'd be good.
No, but
Yeah.
then you buy 2 lawnmowers on Click and Collect.
And then you do
Walk
the
out with
scam
2.
again.
Yeah. Go back, sell one.
Yeah.
Exponential.
Imagine if this kept going.
I mean, it
That'd
could
be
go right
cool.
to the top. This is how Elon Musk made his money.
Yeah, well, it must be.
Yeah,
I can't think of any other way it
there's-
would have done
I
it.
can't think of a single other way.
So there you go. So, I've been complaining to companies all this time, and all I needed to do was feign a
Steal.
click and collect. I didn't steal.
No, sure.
Very
no.
important that I paid for the product. They chose to refund me. Their decision. Free lawnmower.
Pachow. Okay, sure. No,
I don't know
great.
how I feel about this.
That's fine.
I don't know.
I know how I feel.
I
I
don't know how I
definitely
feel about it.
appreciate that you love this situation.
Yeah.
And no question about
I don't think I should have to declare it to them.
Well, I mean, it's not the kind of thing you put on your tax return, is it?
No.
I wouldn't declare it. Let's
No.
be honest. I wouldn't.
I
declare
can't think of many people who would. It's not going to send them under,
No.
and it wasn't my fault. And I get a free lawnmower.
I
So that's
think,
2 against 1.
I think friend of the show, Imi, got a free iPad in a similar sort of way.
There it is.
I'm about to put her on blast.
Would she
now.
thank you? Would she thank you for telling this story on?
Oh no,
on
she'll be
air?
very upset.
I think it's too late
Sure,
for that.
Yeah, because Apple listens to this.
I don't think we could edit this either. I think this goes out live, doesn't it?
But
Yeah.
she was delivered an iPad and the courier left it out in the rain. And she complained, which is fair.
Yeah.
But the iPad worked. It survived being rained on.
Good.
And the courier's
Did she
only
mention
course
that in
of
her
action-
report?
Well, no.
No.
Just sort of left that bit out, just that by accident.
It's probably
yeah.
not relevant, is it?
Probably wasn't. Well, it wasn't relevant at the time because what
No.
was the issue? Obviously, the issue was that the courier had left a very important, valuable parcel out in the rain,
Shouldn't have done that.
and so the courier refunded her not only. Refunded her the value of the item. I think that's how it went down.
Yeah.
Either way, she got the money back, but the iPad works fine.
Free iPad.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my lawnmower was left out in the rain as well, and that's why I got my money back.
Right. So the fact that you've now doubled up on your excuses does sound like a guilty conscience.
No, I don't feel that guilty.
No,
I think
I can
Homebase
tell.
will be fine.
You've never felt guilty about anything you've done.
Have you?
I don't do anything wrong, so
No.
Well, that's why.
that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
Perfect
No
answer.
court in the land would find you guilty of anything you've done.
No, I feel fine about it.
Sure.
If they want the money, they're very welcome to come and take it, but I don't think I should have to tell them that I owe them money.
No, sure.
No business would do that, and I'm technically a business.
Are you?
Well, I could be.
Yeah, no, you could. You could. Yeah, no, you could be.
I could be a
You,
business.
anyone could be a business. No one knows.
Well, why not at this point? Up is down,
So
left
there you
is
go.
right.
My love this week is the
You're
karmic
crying.
scales, I suppose.
Finally, you're due your little
Yeah.
your little.
I look forward to taking on Argos for 30 quid in a few weeks.
Finally, the man with immaculate teeth and minty breath and
Got an immaculate lawn to
great
match
lawn,
my lovely teeth. Yeah.
Finally, you're coming out on top.
Yeah.
Well, thank God.
Time for the middle class white man.
I'm saying this is 2 points on a graph. If we get a third instance of you stealing shit from
I
people,
did not steal
It's a
anything.
trend.
I will not
Yeah, Wonks is
tolerate being no.
Wonks is random.
I didn't
2
steal
is
anything.
coincidence. 3 is a trend.
I didn't
sir.
steal anything.
You might actually be a criminal.
Colgate sent me toothpaste. Well, they sent it to someone who used to live at the house.
You're not you at
They
all.
sent toothpaste to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I live.
You
Are
do live
Colgate
there.
still in business? Are they still turning a
I
profit?
think they're
Colgate?
struggling a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Our Colgate. And they got free promotion on this show. And Homebase are coming off.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
I'd say Homebase are coming off very well at the moment as well.
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to try this click and
a
collect
lot
scam.
of people. A lot of
started,
people.
haven't
Not
they?
scam. Scam makes it sound bad.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's funny. It does. When you describe something for what it is.
Give out free lawnmower. No,
Homebase, go down. Right. Let's start.
you can't. You can't give that strap.
Get down to Homebase for your free lawnmower now,
No, don't say free.
and say
Free, yeah,
show
no.
called hate. Say hey,
Complimentary.
complimentary lawnmower from the
Do
boys
not-
at Show Called
yeah.
Hate. Partnership with Show Called Hate.
Do not mention my
Specifically
name.
Chris Ray.
Go to the customer services desk and mention the name Chris.
Is it too
Chris
late?
Ray.
And
Is
they'll roll their eyes.
Is it too late just for me to re-record this and just say garden centre?
Yeah, I'll say. Get a couple.
I'll say it.
Do a
get-
clean take.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of seconds.
Do you want me to say it with certain inflections?
Yeah,
I'll
you
say
can-
it-
You
I'll
can
do-
take a few takes. Like
try
just-
a few. Try a few.
We'll
do
shut
a
up.
few.
You leave
Yeah.
leave it so we'll get some room tone.
Yeah,
Then say garden centre a
in
few
a few
times.
different ways.
Yeah.
Garden centre. Garden
Sorry?
centre?
Oh no, that was me. Oh, I really,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, let's get.
No, we'll do a
get-
clean
I'll
one.
do it.
Get some actual room tone. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, room tone. I like room tone. Oh, that's really fun. Oh, the listeners are going to get to hear this bullshit. I'm Chris Ray.
That does sound like
This
me.
is what it's like every time before we record it.
That does sound like
No, but let's get some actual room tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garden centre.
Oh, no, it just made me feel a bit sick because I know you're a criminal. I'm sorry.
sorry,
I'll hold that
yeah,
in. I'll
yeah.
hold it in.
Garden
No,
centre.
I can't do it.
Sorry, I'm actually
No.
wearing a wire. Let me just turn it on.
Yeah.
Quick, yeah.
The
Sorry.
home-based police.
Yeah.
Garden centre?
Oh, that was a siren, I think.
Garden centre. Garden centre. Garden centre. Garden centre. Garden centre? Garden centre.
Do a sexy one.
Garden centre.
Ooh, that was sexy.
There you go.
No, I think we've got enough.
It's marvellous, yeah.
Yeah, edit them in.
Edit those in.
Yeah.
That'll be seamless.
It's weird because the listeners, they're going to be confused because all they've heard is you saying gardening centre. They've
I'd
not,
have thought
they've
So we'll
not-
cut this bit out as well.
They've not heard the word home base. Oh, shit.
Ah. We could probably.
No, we'll
probably
fix-
edit it.
we'll fix that.
We'll fix this.
We'll
I
fix
don't
that, but-
think they'll leave this in.
No.
No, it's not live, is it?
What?
Doom. I've got love.
Yeah, he does.
This is funny because Chris Ray did a whole thing, and I'm going to do the same.
Oh.
This was.
Where did you get your free lawnmower from?
I had a hate for the longest time in my list on my phone, which was the hate was literally I cannot speak the common tongue of this country.
Oh.
That was what my hate was, because I seem to find that more often than not I talk to people and they talk to me like
Yeah.
and I just have to either go, I'm so sorry, could you say that again, or yeah.
Yeah. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, and usually it's the latter.
Yeah.
I just do. And I find like I seem to be the only person who doesn't understand what anyone is fucking saying all the time. Right, so more often than not I'm just sort of going, yeah. No, it's true though, isn't it? Arsenal just walked it in last night. Like,
That's
you know,
like half the show, isn't it? It's just
it's just me going,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, but then this transformed into a love because the other day I went to the tip.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
as I was leaving the tip after I successfully emptied the car of all of the huge amounts of rubbish that
There
I
many
had.
lawnmowers there, or
Were a couple actually.
After you finally empty your cars of all the Gundam packaging you'd accumulated over 6 months.
So many little robots.
yeah.
I went to leave and they had shut the gate of the road.
Oh,
that leads into
no.
the tip.
Oh, what a nightmare.
I know. So
Stuck
I
at-
drove
stuck
down
at the tip.
like an idiot. Drove down this road only to find, I can't get out this way. So I turned around. And I turned and I realised, there's a chap like in his florries, his fluorescents, and he's like pointing to.
Florries. That's a
See?
good start to this.
Yeah.
See, good start, right? He's pointing a new way to leave, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I pull around and my window's down, and he just leans out and he goes, "Cheers, mate." And I wanted to ask, is this the new way I've got to leave?
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to clarify I was going the right way. But what came out was, it just all came out garbled. And he just went, "Yeah, mate, yeah, it's just down there."
Yeah.
He understood what I said.
One of us.
So how do you get back to that point?
I don't know, but I think I just have to trust my gut. I think I can do it as long as I don't think too hard.
That's a very. I feel like that's a very Gloucester thing where people just go.
Yeah. Maybe you've been in Gloucester. Well, Gloucestershire long enough. It's going to happen.
Just
Yeah.
sunk into my bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I gestured kind of randomly, and I made some noises. He knew exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
He responded to me perfectly, and I realised, no, I can speak.
You can cut
Speak
corners
this language.
with talking. Yeah.
But it's great. It's funny because when we record a pod, and we're obviously being very professional.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
professional.
I have to bring out. I have to think about it. I have to bring out my kind of pronounced Queen's English.
Yes,
you know?
indeed,
I'm
yes.
trying to talk like a BBC radio presenter kind of thing. Because if I don't think about it, I don't pronounce my T's. I don't pronounce my L's. I just run it all into
You talk
one.
like a pile of garbage.
So Nick, tell me about the thing you did. The other day. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you,
For all I know,
say
none
that
of
again?
what I'm saying now makes any sense.
No, it doesn't. No.
Not to our American listeners, anyway.
No, that's
Because you said
that's okay.
boot.
Boot.
What's a boot?
A boot and a lawnmower.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it
They
was
call
a
it
hate,
a grass smuggler.
and I went on a journey, and now it's a love.
But you love that you've worked it out.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe I've worked out, or at least there was one instance of me having
You've navigated it.
done
now,
it all right
successfully.
you know? Yeah.
My mum used to despair at the fact that I would always drop the T's in the middle of a word, and I think that's the corruption of growing up where we
Yeah,
did.
probably.
But I wouldn't say like bottle. I'd say
Bottle.
bottle,
Water bottle.
water bottle,
Water bottle.
bottle.
Water
Yeah.
bottle.
The interesting thing is that I don't think I'm conscious of the fact I'm saying this quite politely.
Yes.
I don't think our accents are particularly strong.
No,
You and I, John, considering
no.
we grew up in Gloucester.
No, it's funny, isn't it? Because people think about the Gloucestershire accent.
Who are?
Is that like a
you
sort
are.
of like a Somerset?
like yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but it's not like if it's not.
I've
really...
got one tell on my accent, which is that I elongate my as.
Like
I say basket,
basket. Yeah,
for example.
I
That's
never-
my only tell on my voice.
Yeah, I've never really. I'm not good with language.
The thing is, when I listen to you, I don't hear an accent at all.
No, I don't either.
That's the
no,
thing.
no.
I ironically get London more than anything,
Landon.
Yeah, it's quite neutral, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of.
which is
local
weird.
accent,
I
yeah.
get blasted for saying castle or bath or grass,
Bath,
despite the fact that I am southern.
So what you should say is
bath,
Bath,
grass
castle.
and castle.
grass, and castle.
Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't say those, I think, because my mum was northern and she very much says things that way. So I say grass and castle.
I have a very mild speech impediment where I can't hear. I genuinely struggle to hear the difference between thruh and fruh.
THs and Fs.
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
Oh,
But specifically combined
so
with
if
an
I'm
R.
saying the name of someone called Frederick,
Frederick.
You might say
Frederick.
Frederick.
but if it was saying like, what's the thread count in that shirt? I really, genuinely, I really struggle between the two. Yeah. And I think as a kid, I actually had some kind of like speech therapy to try and, which is actually
Speech
ironic,
therapy.
because therapy is very
Speech therapy.
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, see?
I can't tell the difference.
Audio
Yeah.
blindness.
Yeah. And the irony now is that like I have to think, and now I'm saying it, it's making me think even
This is
harder.
going to fall apart now.
Yeah.
I have to think very hard about making the
Very hard.
the noise. But then I do that consciously. But now when it comes to saying Fred,
You did it. No,
I
you did
genuinely
it.
I genuinely don't know if I got
That
it right.
seemed
Yeah.
fine,
No, you did
yeah.
it. No, you
That
did
seemed
great.
fine.
You did a great job, John.
And I've lived my whole life masking that.
It's
you've
quite,
done very
I always
well.
think it's quite important not to think about language too much because you'll drive yourself mad.
If you
Like-
start thinking
Like anything,
about
if
think.
you say any word enough, it just
it
ceases
completely
to make
loses
sense.
meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that even mean? Why does it mean what it means? Like, isn't it weird that think means think? Isn't that weird?
That is weird. And isn't it weird that we hear all these weird noises?
Isn't that strange though?
I wouldn't know.
Or whatever, any word. Why does an F make that sound? Why? Why doesn't it make a t?
Just when I think that you can possibly sink to a new depth.
No, why though? Why does an S?
I can't tell if you're
sound like
taunting
an
me
S?
right
I'm
now.
glad it all does because we don't have a podcast if it wasn't for that.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
I think these things sometimes.
we wouldn't have an
Are you
award-winning
Stop
podcast.
saying think. Are you taunting me right now?
Think.
Think.
I think
Yes.
he is. I think he is. He's
I'm
got.
saying
I'm
right.
genuinely not.
It sounds like you are.
He's got a
I
little.
promise you, I'm
I've
not.
known you most of my life,
He's
and I
got a
can't
little
tell
glint in
anymore.
his eye.
I promise. These are genuinely
He's
things
got-
I consider.
Thank
Oh,
you.
here we go.
If
Riveting.
I'm avoiding saying these.
That particular collection of.
I don't want to say thing,
Sounds,
but
letters,
I couldn't think of it.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
I was intentionally saying the wrong one then.
Oh,
Did
I noticed that.
did,
Yeah,
yes.
you did.
Thank you,
That was
yeah.
very good.
Thank
I like
you.
this is coming up now.
Yeah.
After 110 episodes.
Yeah, no, great. Yeah, thank you. You started a podcast and you have a speech impediment. Thanks, John.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
all right,
bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
I might listen to them back now and see if he gets any wrong.
We'll spot him.
I've got love.
Oh, all right.
I love the endless wealth of YouTube videos, which are collections of how's it made
Oh, yeah.
videos on YouTube.
Yes.
What do
You've
they
shown
What do
me
they make?
Oh,
It's like factory footage,
what?
isn't it?
Yes, and
It's like, let's watch a load of Jaffa cakes get made.
I love how exactly, yeah. So like
for our American listeners, those are orange pies.
little orange
Little
cake.
orange pies.
I was having this conversation this week, actually. Why? Because a Jaffa cake is
Here we
not a
go.
brand name.
No, because other companies like Sainsbury's can make their
Like
own
Sainsbury's
Jaffa
make their own thing called Jaffa cake.
They do.
Yeah, because
What makes it a Jaffa?
Jaffa's like a
Jaffa
word for
means
orange.
Is it really?
I don't know where
Yeah,
that word
that's
comes
interesting.
from,
No.
but it's weird because I've had like cranberry Jaffa cakes.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
they call them like
Cranberry.
chocolate cake biscuits or something like that. Like, but
It's
they're,
not as catchy, is it?
no, they're very clearly a Jaffa cake.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that Jaffa meant orange.
I don't know
Yeah.
where that word comes from, but apparently it does.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good to know.
But yeah, so like I think if I understand this correctly, the Discovery Channel, like 30 years ago in the mid 90s, would make like compilation shows, like an hour long, to fill like a block of television, which was called like How's It Made?
How's it
And it would just be like an hour of like 5-minute segments
Nice.
of going like, oh, how do we make forks?
Yeah.
And then it would be like, how do we make jelly beans?
Oh.
How do we make free Colgate toothpaste?
Yes, yeah, toothpaste. Yeah, how's toothpaste made? That sort of thing.
I don't know. I just
you know.
received the end product.
Exactly.
So then you would get like this compilation of, you know, and they'd always have that one very kind of like very like a polished American voiceover guy, and one jobbing copywriter who has to churn out scripts, and it's always something like jelly beans, you know, a fun treat for the whole family.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
have
that's
you
good.
ever wondered how these are actually made?
How the jelly beans
I think you'll find.
come to be.
And he always goes on like, I think you'll find the answer is pretty sweet. So and then some genius at like the Discovery Channel who manages the Discovery Channel like YouTube channel is like, what if we cut up these shows
Genius.
and then we just upload them for all the stoners out there who
Yeah.
just need content to watch?
Yeah, particularly
Any
content.
content will do.
It's actually quite satisfying
It's
to watch because
weirdly
it's very
satisfying.
repetitive. You're seeing like lids going onto cans. You're seeing like labels being wrapped around boxes. You're seeing, and it's all very like ka-chung, ka-chung, ka-chung,
Yeah.
ka-chung, ka-chung,
Yes.
ka-chung. It's very it's good
Satisfying.
To watch.
Yeah. And then you so I'll just get caught in a loop where I'm like, I don't want to think. I just want an evening where like I can just like I've got like maybe 20 minutes of energy left in me before bed.
You've had like 2 puffs of the ecstasy pipe.
Yeah,
You're like,
I've packed my gun with tobacco. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sucking on it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like, I just want some shit to watch, anything. So you turn it on, and you get that reassuring kind of like polished American like Hollywood voice, but then clearly at some point. They redubbed all that footage for different countries around the world. So in the mix, you'll suddenly get the British dub, where they've got
Here
like,
in London. We
no, it's northern.
Oh, okay.
You've got like
Here in
a-
Pikesley Grange.
No, you get like a charming, down to earth, like rural.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How do you make jelly beans?
Yes.
The,
yes.
Jelly
the
beans.
answer will probably surprise you.
Marshmallows. You know, fluffy, light. You know, satisfying.
Remind me of
But have you
sheep.
ever wondered where these fluffy little pillows come from?
I thought you were going to say pricks then. These fluffy
These fluffy little pricks.
fluffy little pricks.
I know I'm sort of implying some of them. I really hate them. I hate them.
I watched one the other day. It was how marbles are made,
Oh yeah.
and it's God, it was a
See,
stretch.
I'm already kind of interested in how these things are made.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
It's
problem.
kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
You realise that there are machines that have been built by humans
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
just to make one thing.
To do one thing.
sure,
very
but
well,
how?
yeah.
Oh, I don't want to get too involved, but how was the original marble made?
Well, indeed, probably not this
By
one.
accident.
Yeah.
A man ate a load of glass on the beach.
Maybe someone broke a window in just a perfect sphere form.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
I just love how it's the fact that I feel for the copywriter, because it's like you got to do a 5-minute video about how marbles are made.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, from 1 minute, I'm like from the 30-second mark to the 5-minute mark, you're on easy street, because you just got to go like, the glass is fed through an extruder.
Yeah.
And then cut into individual portions. Easy.
Super easy.
You just
Say what's
right,
happening.
right, yeah. But then the opening 30 seconds, you've got to find some whimsical way to wrap up with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, marbles, little glassy balls of fun, as beloved as a family, beloved by the whole family from the 15th century to present day. But have you ever wondered how are marbles made?
The answer is sheer glass.
That is incredible.
do
Yeah,
this shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. How are marbles made?
Well, according to
I desperately didn't want to ask
see,
that.
marbles was particularly bullshit because we went to like this bespoke marble factory in Devon, where like they artisanally hand make the marbles, and I'm like, that is not how commercial marbles
I
are
want
made.
to see the marble machine.
Is
it
I,
like
I really want to see
Is
the
it
marble
like a
machine.
big marble run? It's just like going through
Yeah.
little wheels and down little spirals. Yeah, it plays a little song as it
Yeah.
goes. I reckon it's like that.
I watched one about like how like non-stick saucepans are made,
Wow.
and apparently they start with like a massive block of steel, which already looks quite impressive, and then they hammer it into like 100-foot long strip of metal.
Oh.
They just squeeze it, and then they just get like a big hole punch, just go like clang,
That's
clang,
fun.
clang.
I bet that looks
Pan,
great.
pan.
Very
On
satisfying.
camera, yeah, I bet.
Gotta
yeah.
say, yeah,
Wonderful.
It's good stuff.
yeah.
See, I like finding out how things are made generally.
Hmm.
I watch movie documentaries and things like that because I'm interested in the process of how things are made that I wouldn't already know.
Mm.
So I genuinely, I'm not being
No.
a dick at the
No.
moment. I'm genuinely interested in these things.
Well, it's funny. We watched like one which was like how Pringles are made. Or
Oh,
something
I
like
had some
that.
Pringles earlier.
But good.
Did you enjoy them?
Yeah. How
I
was
love
that? Yeah.
Pringles.
What flavour did you have?
Just plain.
Plain
yeah.
are good, but
Plain
salt
are-
and vinegar are the.
Yeah.
That's a chef's
I
kiss.
think, if I had to eat crisps for the rest of my life, I would choose Pringles.
Yeah.
Another great thing about those, how's it made, is when they send a film crew to a factory, and they want to get like close-ups of all the individual portions, and it's always like a technician takes a sample to test that quality is at its utmost level. And you see like this hand come in and go like pick up an item, and go. And,
Yeah.
like,
Points
hold
it
it
at
in
the
a
camera.
very pronounced way to the
Yeah.
camera, and then bring it on. And goes, the technician takes a taste test to see if the zestiness is exactly as expected. And then we have like this technician picks up like 10 Pringles and like
At once, he's holding a clipboard, and then the camera zooms in on the clipboard. And there's just one line. It's just like zesty ? And then there's a box, and he just ticks it.
we were watching one which was like hummus,
Oh.
and
Surely hummus is an easy one.
yeah, I think so.
Mash,
Yeah.
Crush 'em.
thingies.
Yeah, well, they
Chickpeas.
open up this massive vat, and it's like hummus, like kind of 12-foot deep, and
Yeah.
he goes, the taste technician takes a sample, and then like
Dips his tongue.
Same guy.
Yeah,
He just goes
He's
to
got a
every
Pringle.
factory.
and he
Pringle
runs
in his
in.
hand. He didn't wait.
The grotesque thing about the hummus one is that like rather than just going like, oh, I'll take a spoon and take like a little mouthful.
Oh, no.
They took they had like a scoop,
Right.
And it's like they just like the most aggressively messy scoop you could imagine. Like there's hummus like up all over and like hanging down the side of a cup, and then they go,
Drunk with power.
I go, but of course, there's no substitute for your own taste. And then like there's a close up of him like dunking a spoon in, taking like the biggest, most like obscene mouthful of hummus you can imagine, and then they like put it in their mouth in like a really awkward, like cinematic way. They're like clearly aware that a camera's watching them. And I'm like, just take a bit.
Just eat.
Just take a bit. You don't need that big a spoonful.
no. Oh,
and,
no.
and then they like half suck it off the spoon, and there's like hummus everywhere.
Why
I'm
is
like,
it that when there's a film camera, you forget how to do the most basic
Yeah.
human functions? It's like, just eat some hummus.
Just
No,
eat the
don't.
hummus.
Jeremy, just eat the hummus.
got one job: just eat the hummus and don't be a prick.
27
Don't be a
takes.
prick.
This was the best one.
It's him getting himself in the eye or something.
Do I put my face in the hummus?
It's just him bringing the whole bowl to his face every time.
Is this eating?
Like mayonnaise, right?
Oh yeah.
Just eat a
Mayonnaise is
spoonful.
great.
What about it?
I wouldn't eat a
specifically?
spoonful of mayonnaise.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't really like mayonnaise.
I've got to say, Vashina's definitely gone off mayonnaise. 'Cause
no.
it's like, this is how mayonnaise is made. It's like the first step is like an industrial truck full of eggs turns up. And it's connected to the influx pipe.
Oh god!
And then a lorry of chickens, answering the age-old question: which came first?
And it's like a sordid, like gritty man just walks up to this with a pipe and just like connects it, clicks it onto the back, and then like 200.
Sound of a million eggs.
Just a load of, they all break before they get there. It's just like, oh, fuck this.
200 cubic gallons of egg just getting sucked off a pipe.
It's time to make the egg sauce today. We call it mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to just call it egg sauce.
Egg sauce.
Shells and all, they said. The company, before it was called Elman's, was called Shells and All. 2,000 metric tons a day are processed into mayonnaise. And this chap here, Barry, has been here since day one.
And that's when you have the testing. It's like, and there's this vat of like
White
mayonnaise
cream.
at the size of a house.
Oh, no.
And then it's like, the guy just like reaches in
With a
you
bare
know?
hand.
Yeah, and it's just like,
So he's got a condom on each finger.
Oh no.
Firstly, Barry has to protect his digits for the mayonnaise taste test.
Barry refuses to wear a glove, so he's provided with 5 condoms.
It's just it's
and
got a greater safety.
there's a really long, pronounced shot of like Gary like sheathing up everything. And he reaches into the mayonnaise vat. And
For some reason, Barry still puts the palm of his hand in mayonnaise.
Now, as you watch this shot, you'll see that Barry finds a solid. Not often is there a solid in the mayonnaise. This suggests the batch is prime. Barry always eats the solids he finds, and sometimes he keeps them at home. Barry finds a solid. Barry finds a solid. Barry finds a solid. Barry found a solid. A mayonnaise crystal in mayonnaise.
oh Christ alive!
But yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any mayonnaise anymore.
I don't
never gonna
think
be
I want that mayonnaise
can't-
anymore.
No, not Barry's mayonnaise.
Oh my God.
Shells and all.
There you go.
What do we think won? Love or hate? Christ alive, I'm crying.
Well,
It's probably love, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's probably
I was
fucking love.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say hate at first, but
Oh,
yeah, £170 beats £10, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So
I mean, yeah.
if we're talking sheer profit,
If we're talking profit margins,
I think I
definitely.
will go for love. That's rare, isn't it?
I mean,
Oh, that
I
is rare.
can't argue that we got a free lawnmower and as much mayonnaise
can't
as
argue-
we can scoop.
You can't argue with a free lawnmower and
Bring those two
Barry's
together.
solid mayonnaise, can you? So
Oh my God.
Yeah, so no, I'm on board with love for sure.
Yeah, me
I'm
too,
feeling a lot of
yeah.
love in the room.
And how's your lawn looking?
great at the moment.
You
Yeah.
should put mayonnaise on it because
Delicious
it promotes
mayonnaise.
growth, apparently.
I don't want to catch a solid in that lawnmower though.
Oh no, that's true. That's to be fair.
Break a window, couldn't it?